Okay, here we go. And we're live. Okay, so just say a little something, whatever you want.
Mic check. Check mic. We all
Perfect.
good? Nice.
Okay, live. Okay, so just say a little something.
Mic check. Check mic.
Sounds great. Sweet.
Awesome.
Okay, guys, we're back. Facts with Maaxx. It's today, what is it, episode 32? 30 freaking 2. I've just been piling these things and done like 3 a week or something. I haven't done this very long, but it's been going very well. So this is just what I do now. And then I get connected with all these very interesting people. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself. But I actually, only a few weeks ago, I have a spiritual coach, an astral travel coach. So I'm in training to astral travel. And he is very big on runes, like super big on it. And he always has this thing in the background on the calls with the runes on, and he was like, Maaxx, I really think you should get, like, if you get a fight or something, would you paint the runes on your face? And I'm like, yes. I said, well, no, I don't know if I'm gonna fight, but regardless, I was like, I kind of want to do a tattoo of this. So I told him, like, what runes do you suggest? But he didn't respond yet. And then boom, I get connected with you, Mr. Rune Man.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that'd be first of all, that'd be a great idea. Actually, there's a lot of power to be had in the runes. They are magic symbols first and foremost, and
Yeah.
script second.
I've been doing
But yeah,
crystal for a while now, and now we're just adding on to it.
I mean, runes is it's closer to your heritage, right?
Yes, I'm a 96% Viking actually. And I know we studied it in school in Sweden briefly, but I wasn't interested in school shit back then. So I don't remember. But actually tell people who you are and what you do and where they find you before we dig into the
Yeah,
runes.
of course. So yeah, Stijn. I go by Stijn Fox. Mostly just online Fox because I used to be, such a activist, big fan of the work of Anonymous. That's why I adopted Fox, and I've been going like that ever since. I am the Jarl, the leader of the tribe of the Grey Horn Pagans, the host of the Grey Horn Pagans podcast, and one of the hosts of Across the Pond podcast project that I've been recently involved with. My mission, if you want, is to reconnect the people with their own heritage and the European people first and foremost, because our heritage is really lost. A lot of it is lost, and a lot of it we're told we should be ashamed about. Especially being being a straight white male. I am the reincarnation or incarnation of the devil himself, of course. So don't I dare talk about my heritage, which is exactly why I do it. And the runes is, one of those things that is very prominent. And one of the things that has been used for less than good, shall we say, especially around, well, let's say 80 years ago. Little guy with a funny mustache decided to use the runes for
Oh,
purposes that
is that
um,
the story? Hmm.
yeah. He
So
the
do you think he was
swastika that
do you
he
think he was actually bad or evil? Because that's another conversation.
um I mean, everything that we've been taught in school about history is either a lie or a half truth.
Hmm.
I mean, horrible things have, happened during those times from both sides. So I don't think there is, a good or bad side. Like in war, is there a good or bad side? They're both
Yes,
bad sides, really.
exactly.
Um, Although it's amazing that the good guys have always won somehow.
Well, me and Joss were talking about that, and he said, which was a good point. He said, "Do you see that every time something has been written in history in a war, it's always from the people that won, but not from the other side."
Yeah.
So, maybe everybody's good and maybe everybody's bad also, depending on, because I don't think anybody goes into, not to say nobody, but most people probably go into the war to do something good for the people they care about and love, right? So maybe there's definitely evil in the world. Maybe people that just actually enjoy destroying other people, but I doubt that majority is like that.
I mean, you're lured into it mostly under false premises, of course. Fight for your country, fight for your people, fight for, the ones you
Oh,
love,
you know what?
which is.
Excuse me, guys. I
Hmm?
lost my $2,000 tripod in Dallas, so I just. Hello. Hi. Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. My tripod. They did not. Interesting. Okay, I will keep looking. Thank you. Bye. Wow, that's so interesting. I have a very nice $2,000 tripod I just bought, and it's like nowhere to be found. She said it wasn't there. I guess some. It went into a black hole.
Yeah, well, I mean, those things exist. The Fae probably took it. They saw something nice and were like, "That's
Yeah,
ours
well, I
now."
know I had it in my hand. We literally left Dallas this weekend. I I even remember because as we're packing like this cart, I saw the tripod had fallen in under the couch, and I was like, "Oh shit, great that I saw that." I pulled it out. Like, where did it go after that? I don't know.
That's it's a very good question.
Yes, proceed. Now
But
I'm glad it's not there at least.
yeah, no, of course, of course. Everyone, in war, of course, wants to fight for what is right because those are the premises that
Hmm.
you are lured into it. Like I said, fight for your country, fight for your people, fight for the ones you love. I mean, great. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? And then you get into it and you discover that it's for entirely different purposes altogether.
Yes.
So yeah, I do think that um, most most of the general population um, just wants nothing to do with it, has nothing to do with it.
Yes.
And then there are those people who very much enjoy it, of course, who get a real kick out of it.
Of course.
um, Although it has been said that the most prominent figure of the Second World War, that he had this botanic spirit about him, that he embodied the true spirits of Germany. He was very charismatic, and that's why people just like flocked around him. He had just this energy around him that um just there yeah, there was something to it. And if you see what he did for Germany, because he did rebuild Germany after the First World War, and he brought back a lot of um, the ancient Germanic botanic imagery.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it's also been used for terrible things. So a
Everything,
couple of the
right? Every single thing can be used for good and bad.
that is true. That is true, and especially with the runes and the Wotanic energy. I mean, Wotan or
Hmm.
Odin, as he is more known in the English-speaking countries, of course.
I gotta say, it's
Um,
very funny how, like, this, I am a Viking, this is where I come from, and here I am at almost 40 years old, on a live stream with a stranger who's not going to teach me about runes that I probably should know about already.
I mean, it helps that I'm Dutch. Like I'm Northern European myself. It's part of my heritage as well.
Well, I prefer to learn this
Um,
from you right now rather than had paid. I was good in school, but I was like a math geek. And when it comes to history and stuff and geography, I hated history and geography. And I believe because I've always had like spiritual powers, even though I didn't know it, I believe I couldn't and didn't want to pay attention to these two things because deep down I knew it wasn't real, it wasn't true. And I think that I haven't a lot of information never caught here because I didn't want it, and now I'm happy for it because I'm very much more was that when it comes to these things I'm very open to everything.
yeah,
And now I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually glad I didn't fully learn these things because most of it probably wasn't even true. And now I'm like, I probably knew that somehow because I was a school nerd for a while. I really was. Like I loved studying and all this stuff. So it wasn't that I couldn't, I just didn't want to learn these things.
yeah. Well, I've often said that in the 3 years that I've been doing podcasting, just doing podcasting, like through my own stuff, I have learned more about the world and how all of it works than
Yep.
in 14, 18, 20 years of
Yeah.
school.
Yep. Well, we're gonna actually I'm gonna be on his podcast too, so we will be promoting both of them and there will be whole different conversations. So you guys definitely need to watch both.
Yeah, yeah. It they will be different. Yes.
Ooh, we
Um,
are Viking on the live here. Hello, Chris. Welcome. You're in the right place.
what's up? Um, that's another thing though. Like everyone calling themselves Viking. To go Viking was really a noun, meaning to go raid, to go out and raid or trade.
Do you think I
Mostly
can
trade,
call myself a
actually.
Viking? I am in the war for humanity right now, so I would personally I would like to say I became a Viking maybe 5 years ago. That's when I truly started to war, and I am. If people don't know, in August last year I moved into an MMA gym to learn how to fight, and not to have a fight, but to have the skill. And I also have done a lot of weapon training, which it's I think it's cooler to know the physical skill rather than pressing a button. But yeah, so I would like to say 5 years ago I actually started my journey to becoming the Viking I am supposed to be.
Well, you definitely do embody the warrior spirit, which is good. You definitely got in touch with that Votanic side of
What
you.
would you think?
Gaining
What do you think
knowledge,
they
gaining
should
strength.
call themselves? So if they're Scandinavian or something of this sort, and they're saying I'm a Viking, like what should they just call themselves? Scandinavian?
Um,
Because I think people like to use the word Viking, obviously. But you are right in what you
I
say.
mean, you,
Everybody is in the
you
Viking just because you were born there.
I mean, you can call yourself a Viking. Everyone knows what you mean. Everyone knows what the Vikings are about. So it's not bad to call yourself that. Just for historical accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know if there is a proper name for it. I don't think the people really had a name for themselves, unless you know I mean, I call myself a heathen. I call myself a pagan. Um, but
Heathen
even those,
mean. What's the meaning of
yeah,
it?
heathen, pagan. But even those are words that um, were given
Mm-hmm.
to our people by the Christians as
Uh-huh.
derogatory terms.
Yeah.
Pagans coming from the Latin paganius. Simple folk, country folk, really heathen, the people of the heath, people who lived on the lands, the uncivilized ones. Because if you're civilized, you live in the city. You don't live on the land.
Just googling.
Um, yeah.
A person holding religious beliefs other than those of the main or recognized religions.
In the broadest terms, yes. Pagan, a good Norwegian is Viking. Pretty much Scandinavian as a whole is Viking, Viking, Norse, Danes. You can call them whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. It all means the same. It's there's not a bad term for it. I just prefer to call myself a heathen.
How do you spell that?
Um,
Mm-mm.
Heathen.
Of heathens. Here we go. Oh, let me see. A person who does not belong to a widely held religion, especially one who is not a Christian, Jew, or Muslim, as regarded by those who do. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
A follower of a polyth. I don't know how to say
polytheistic religion.
religion.
Yeah, and polytheistic meaning that you acknowledge, you recognize, and worship multiple gods.
What is your main language, by the way?
Dutch.
Dutch. Okay. I had
Yes.
my friend actually told me, he's like, Max, why do you never speak Swedish on your live? Maybe that should be like your signature thing. I was like, okay, maybe we can do in the end before we wrap up. We'll say a couple of things in our languages here, teach people something.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, Joost and I can give you Dutch lessons.
Oh no! Well, actually, funny story. So I don't know Dutch, but the Swedish language and your language are similar in writing, and I can
Yeah.
understand sometimes when I read. I don't understand when you talk though. But yeah, so like I have been traveling a lot in Europe, and when I can read signs and like kind of like instructions and menus a little bit, so it's still like a little bit similar for sure.
Yeah, I mean they're both languages under the Greater Germanic banner,
Mm-hmm.
and like Germanic, everyone always assumes like that's just Germany. No, Germanic is like Germany, the Netherlands,
Mm-hmm.
Scandinavia,
Mm-hmm.
um, Iceland, probably even. Um, so that's why I always just say Germanic because
Mm-hmm.
that includes
I think
everyone.
this is
You
good because
can-
obviously I have a bigger American audience these days, and I don't think a lot of people over here know these kind of things because regardless of we were taught lies or not in school in Sweden, they actually teach us. I'm gonna say they teach us more about the rest of the world than about ourselves. And I think over here
yeah.
they teach them pretty much only about themselves, and then they don't teach. Like we had a class where we had to know all the 51 states of the United States. That's like a test in school in Sweden that you have to know
Hmm.
them. So, and again, I don't know if that was a good thing since a lot of things were not true, but it's just over here it's very just like you should just know about this. And then what I've realized too is that most Americans that I know have never traveled outside of the country, which to me is
True.
like mind blowing. And I guess also, if I'm in Sweden, it takes 6 hours to get to New York with a flight, but it also takes 6 hours to get to from New York to California. So it's like it's so big in here. And when I first came here, I was like, okay, I mean, there's so much to see here. Maybe you don't really need to leave the country. But now, when I've been here and I've traveled a lot in the United States, I'm like, you know what? It isn't that freaking different. It isn't okay. It a little bit, but it's still very similar. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, I want to go out again. Because when I lived in Sweden, you don't travel around in Sweden. You go to other countries. That's what you do when you travel, when you live over there. That's just
Same.
because it's not that far.
Yeah, same here in the Netherlands. Like even if it's just Germany or Belgium, which
Uh
is
huh.
just a couple hours drive, we're still in a different country. It's still slightly different culture.
Mm-hmm.
And like talking about education and all in the Netherlands, at
Mm-hmm.
least in high school, we get taught and do our final exams for four different languages:
Mm-hmm.
Dutch, English, German, and French.
Mm-hmm. Do you speak
and
any
that's just
languages?
the mandatory bits.
Do you speak more languages?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah, that
No,
was
I
another
haven't. I
conversation
haven't
I
used
had
my
with
French.
somebody over here. They
Yeah,
said,
I haven't used my French since high school. So it really. I mean, I speak a little German. Like I guess I can, you know, make myself understandable in German.
mm-hmm.
But like, don't expect me to hold a full conversation in German. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
So
I
just
do
English
speak.
and Dutch at the moment.
I speak, yeah, English, Swedish, and Spanish right now. I would like to like learn Japanese actually. That would be cool. Maybe I should do.
Yeah,
Yeah, wait, can you speak rune? Or is it a symbol or does it have a sound?
they do have sounds
Okay,
actually. Yeah.
rune.
Um, I mean, I wrote down some of the more prominent ones that are like more most applicable to you.
Mm-hmm.
Being a fighter, both on the worldly stage and in cage on the mat.
Mm-hmm. You
Um,
actually, do you want me to, so we can show what it is? Can I pull something up as you're talking about them
yeah,
on
of
Google,
course.
maybe? However, so I can show each one. How did you get into all of this, by the way? Like, why did you want to learn the runes? What was like that moment you're like, oh shit, I gotta learn this?
Um, I don't know. It comes with getting interested in history, getting interested in paganism as a whole. Like
Mm-hmm.
you see the runes, you see them everywhere. They're still very very prolific. You probably see one. I mean, technically, it's a bind rune, but you see it every day. The Bluetooth signal or the Bluetooth logo. That's a bind rune. Those are two different runes combined with each other.
Huh. I didn't think about that. Mm.
So if you use Bluetooth on a daily basis, you see a bind rune on a daily basis.
So, what do you think? This one, guys. Why do you think that is? Or do you know why? Why did they use that? What is that supposed to
Um,
symbolize as far as the
Oh,
Wi-Fi?
I know there's a whole story behind it, going back to a Swedish king, actually Harald Bluetooth, who I don't know the full story, but I know that it goes back to a an ancient Swedish king, Harald Bluetooth.
Oh, wait, let me see if I can find it. You can keep talking. I'll see if I find information.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean the runes are they are magic symbols first and foremost, and they represent a whole number of things. Like they're not just letters. Like I said, they're
Uh-huh.
symbols. So, for example, one that is very applicable to you and to myself
Mm-hmm.
would be the Thurisas rune, which
Urisas. Let me see if I can figure out the spellings here. I think so. Okay, I think I found it.
Thuri. Yeah, that one. That's Thurisas, which is representative of the god Thor or Donar,
Yes.
the protector of Midgard, the strongest, physically strongest of all the gods. That's also why I always wear the hammer of Thor,
You know what?
Mjolnir.
I had some stuff. I Since I came to this country, I have at different occasions either given up or lost everything I owned, and I had like real Viking horns, and I had so many cool things. And it's just gone. I need to take a trip over there. I'm also very much about like finding my own stuff now. Like over here where I am, we go out in the nature and we find crystals. So yeah,
Yeah.
need to plan a trip. I
Uh,
actually found the Bluetooth thing. It says the Bluetooth logo is a bind rune which combines the younger Futhark
Futhark.
Futhark runes
Yeah.
Hagal and Bjarkan, the initials of Harald Bluetooth Gormson. Wait, that was his name? The Viking king of Denmark and Norway. Harald
Yeah.
Bluetooth was known for uniting parts of Denmark and Norway, much like Bluetooth technology units different devices for communication.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
When the
sense.
creators of the Bluetooth tech were developing the name, it was actually a code name, but it stuck because they liked the historical parallel. The logo cleverly
Yeah,
merged the two runes into a single symbol representing the king's initials H and B. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Hagalas and Berkana. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm like when I'm reading it, I'm trying to make it sound American. I don't even know. I Harald, like I do speak Swedish. It's just weird when you're mixing it.
Yeah, well, a friend of mine actually makes his own rune sets, makes his own custom rune sets,
Hmm.
and I do on my channel. I do weekly rune readings with
Mm-hmm.
another friend of mine. Like he's a very proficient reader, like tarot reader, intuitive reader,
Yeah. Oh, I'm
and
all into
runes
tarot.
are part of his reading.
I do my favorite though. I do have regular tarot cards too, but my favorites are the crystal spirit cards.
Yeah, those are beautiful. So yeah, the runes like and the Futhark is they are actually the first letters of, well, the runic alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
Fehu, Urus, Turisas, Ansus, Raido, Kena, or Kenas, and then there's a bunch more, but so just Futhark are the the first letters already.
It's it means all of these. Oh wait, what am I
Yeah.
finding?
So, um, yeah.
Oh no, I can't see that one. Okay, I'll find a better one.
I mean, if you just go to Wikipedia and do runes, like there's a whole list, and also with their Proto-Germanic names.
What about this?
Yeah. Fehu, Urus, Turisas, Ansus, Raido, Kenau, Futhark,
Hmm.
Diego, Wunjo,
Now we get to see
Haglas.
what my just said my coach has like these things in the background when he talks. Wait, his don't look. Oh, he's probably mixed them together. Now I see. Yeah,
Is using bind runes. I mean, that works. That probably works.
because he definitely has. Yeah, I'm seeing like he definitely has this and this on
Othala.
top. But I
Nice.
was like, wait, they're probably put together. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I can figure.
Othala is one of those runes that is again very notorious now because an altered version was used during the Second World War. But Othala basically just means heritage, estate, possession. So homeland, your home. So for example, if you would describe Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
that is Othala to you. I
Yeah.
mean, you describe it a little different, but if you want to like symbolically express it,
Uh huh.
Sweden is, it is your heritage. It is where you are, where your roots lay. So that is Othala to you.
Interesting. Actually, gonna pull up. I'm gonna let you. I'm just gonna show it. So this is my coach, but we can do this afterwards and see if we can figure out what this is. Oh, you see,
Oh,
definitely
those
mixed.
are a bunch of bind runes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there, like, we're seeing. Wait, no, I thought I
Um,
didn't see that. Oh, it's this one, right? Day.
definitely.
These are like day.
Yeah. That could be. I mean, that could also be manas. That could also be the manas, dagas.
Now I'm curious to actually ask him, the story behind why he put them there. So he's my astral travel coach, and he's also one of the
Mhm.
world's best exorcists. I've posted before if people are interested. I posted my own exorcism. I wasn't necessarily like about these things until I experienced it, and I was like, anyone who's listened to it know that that was not me speaking out of my mouth. That was pretty
Oh
crazy.
dear.
Oh, they're the
No,
demons
but
speak out
yeah,
of you. It's not even your voice. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
well, we all have our demons.
And
Whether
I'm
you
going
like
live with him. Well, yes. So he said when we did the astral travel, so you want to be completely pure when you start, which is why he wants to do that before you start working on the
Mhm.
on that. And I'm going live with him on Monday, and we were actually talking about doing. He can channel entities through you basically, and I've had some requests about things to channel which he didn't want to do on me because they may be evil, so we are potentially going to do a channeling of Freya.
a Freya.
Yes, which goes perfect together with this. I'm going to tell him about this episode because this one now and that one are going to be perfect combinations.
Oh, Freya is she's a beautiful goddess. I mean, none to be messed with, though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Uh,
So I'm trying to figure out, basically what we're doing. He's calling her out through me. So it will be me, but her
mm,
out of me. And I said, I've done this before. We've done the exorcism, and I, regardless of what people think about this, if you don't believe in this kind of stuff, go get a session and then you tell me. I have goosebumps just telling you about it. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, I don't know what to expect. Like, am I gonna be aware? Am I still there? He's like, oh yeah, you're very much aware. You're still there.
yeah.
You just feel this entity inside of you speaking. And the crazy thing, as when I feel my face even changed. I have a picture. I don't even look the same. I'll text it to you after if you want to see it. Before and
Yeah.
after. When the demon comes out, I got hot, and I mean hot, burning hot in the face, and it almost felt like my cheeks started to like change shape, and then my heart palpitations like crazy. And then the first thing that comes out of my mouth is this strange British accent that I don't have. It was very interesting. And then we went through all of it, and then in the end, he channels your soul, which was the most beautiful thing I've ever felt. And I
I should
post,
do a session with
yeah,
him.
I
That
put. Well,
sounds
I
interesting.
cut it down because it was like an hour long, but I have a 3-minute one on my Rumble where people do so
Wow.
or listen. Hmm.
Well, he
Very
wants to channel Freya through you.
well. I
Wow.
said I
Okay.
had a different request, but that was his suggestion because he didn't want to. He didn't want to channel what I asked for.
I mean, Freya is she's a very powerful goddess. Like she actually has first pick over the slain warriors on the battlefield.
I
A
know.
lot of people, or the consensus, let's say, in more mainstream, is that Odin gets to take all the fallen warriors with him to Valhalla.
Yes.
Um, it is actually Freya who gets first pick, so it's her and her Valkyries
Mm-hmm.
who take
What I am. I
the.
forgot. I have a friend who used to call me the Valkyrie for the longest time.
I can see that.
Mm.
I can see that. The Valkyries, like in short, as Freya herself also is. They are beautiful yet terrifying.
Yes, I am. I think.
Uh, no, and Freya, like how I always describe her, it's very short, but that's her essence.
Mm-hmm.
Layem or Slayem.
Yep.
She's the goddess of love and war. So if she wants you, she'll have you, and if you don't want to, then that's the end of it.
I'm putting everyone who's watching everything we talk about. Put the
Yeah.
links in the caption as usual if somebody wants to go read. Goddess of love and beauty. Goddess of war and battle. Associated with magic.
Yes, yes,
Like,
indeed. And it was actually Wotan who learned magic from her, learned a female form of
mhm,
magic for which he very much got ridiculed.
mhm,
But he had to in order to make himself whole, to be the most powerful grand god that he wanted to be.
mhm.
Um, so yes, for all the tough guys listening, for all the tough guys watching, even Wotan got in touch with his feminine side.
Hmm.
So if Odin can do it, you can do it. Trust me.
Yes. Well, I think we all have to channel our feminine and our masculine sides, right?
We do, especially in in order to be whole, and in in older times. Um, I mean, things were very different back then, of course, but the lines were also more clearly divided.
Mm-hmm.
The man took care of the family, the man took care of the farm, but um, it was the woman who took care of the man, took care of the kids, and so the rules were, yeah, they were divided, but they were in unison with each other. Like, yeah, the wife, let's say, does a lot of the hard work, but it's the man who needs to enable her to to be able to do it. It's the man who has to take care of everything so that his wife can do all those things.
Mm-hmm.
um,
A big subject now. I've been wanting to start covering like relationship stuff on my podcast too, because I feel like that's just the next step. But there are a lot of these big famous podcast people right now, and the interesting, so I watched some of it. I don't know if guys have watched like the Fresh and Fit stuff. They're like these slightly
uh,
younger men that think that you should have tons of women, yada yada yada. And then you have the
mm,
older generation of like Brad Lee and all of them, who are like very traditional. But what I think that these people are not seeing is they're all the same, because everything revolves around how much money the man has. Okay, they think everything has to do with money. I can have 10 wives. Everything is about money. I will have one wife. What is the difference? All of you only revolve your entire life around money, but what if money doesn't exist tomorrow? Because that's what's coming. That's basically what's coming. And here's the thing, these men here, these powerful men, right, with all this money, are they still going to be anything for their women if they have zero money? What are they them then?
I mean, that's how you get gold diggers. I mean, yeah, they'll have all the they'll have a pretty young thing on walking with them on their arm,
Mhm.
but as soon as he's out of money, she's
Yeah,
gone.
it's not going to work. So that's why I've been wanting to start talking about it. I'm not saying that it's wrong to want to be with, like, for the man to want to have money. Yes, of course. For the woman to want to have somebody that has their shit together. Yes. But I say this because I have a lot of friends in this situation. And I was talking to a friend of mine. The thing is, I in the past have been in a position where I was basically the man. So I understand you guys too. Trust me, I was the supporter and provider of everything. So I also understand the man's side of it. That's not how I wanted it to be, but I've always been, yes, I've been masculine in the past, right? And
Yeah.
it's just, it happened that way. So I understand both sides, but it's like I have friends who are with these men and they have all the money and they're so happy and they get all the things they want, and then they realize that they have 52 purses, but the man doesn't even have time to sit down and have a conversation with them. So then they're like,
Yeah.
I'm not happy, and then they cheat on them because they're not getting any love. Or I'm not saying this is like every scenario. I'm sure there are couples where all of this works great, but a lot of times people think, oh, I want all this money, but is that actually real love? And I'm not saying
Well,
go for the broke person either. Like,
I
you
mean,
can like hustle together, right?
then again, the broke person probably knows the actual value of things, not just like how much it costs, but
Mm-hmm.
how much it's actually worth.
Yeah.
And like you said, by all means, be wealthy, get wealthy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
No,
having money or wanting money.
no.
Just don't let it define who you are.
Or be a substitute for other things.
Exactly. I mean,
Because
that's
I
there's
even if some
another room for that.
women, men too, but mostly women, even if some women believe that if they have a man with a lot of money, they're gonna be truly happy, I just don't think so. You might
No,
be for a little bit, but
no, definitely not. And that's funny. Like you see that even represented in the runes. Fehu, the first letter of the Futhark, means both wealth and cattle.
mm-hmm.
Because back in those the olden days, your cattle, the animals you had on the farm,
Mm-hmm.
was your wealth.
Yes.
Just imagine what one cow can bring you. Just in its milk,
Yeah.
it's from that milk, what can you make? Cream, cheese, yogurt.
Yeah. But with where the world is going right now, I think people should aim for the cow again because shit's going
I mean,
down. Food is not edible, so
start with a couple of chickens. They're
mm-hmm.
easy to upkeep.
Yes.
They don't require a lot of maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
um, if you're doing it for the eggs, for the protein, get ducks, because duck
Yeah.
eggs are bigger.
Oh yeah.
So
Just
just basically start with some small fowl.
mm-hmm.
Have a couple of chickens in the backyard. I mean, our ancestors knew that cattle was wealth. The farm animals was
Yeah.
your wealth, is your wealth, because those enable you to be more self sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
And if the chicken doesn't lay eggs, hey, chicken itself is pretty good lean protein as well.
Yep. That's my goal. Well, I have a person who has chickens that I get from because I for the longest time I will not be very well, let's just say, when I eat grocery store stuff. So I get my meat. I have my half a cow over here in a freezer from my friend's farm, and then I have a guy in the gym who has chickens give me, actual real chicken eggs, and I eat 6 of those a day and I have no issues. And then I will go to the grocery store and I'm instantly bloated.
Yeah, I mean it's different here in Europe because um, we don't process everything as heavily.
Are you sure? I have a friend who works
Uh,
with stuff, let's just say in Europe, and it's coming there too. They are starting to import a lot of garbage and slowly but surely replacing things. Not to say it's everywhere, not at all. But
let's just
my
say,
family in Sweden thought the same thing, and then I was informed and showed that maybe that's not the case anymore.
well, let's just say in contrast to the US,
Yes.
European food is still a lot fresher, a lot less processed. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, increasingly more so, unfortunately. But I mean, that's also the funny thing with a lot of people in the U.S. are um, lactose intolerant, but then they travel to Europe, and they have all the ice cream here, they have all the
You
cheese
know what
and
I've
everything,
realized?
and we're just
I was
I'm
dairy
not I'm
intolerant.
not bloated. I'm not feeling bad. What's happening? Like I'm eating cheese and nothing's happening.
No, it's so over here. I was dairy intolerant, but I can do raw milk, raw cheese, any raw dairy I can do. So and I ran a challenge on my Instagram once, and I said the raw milk challenge. Hey, calling out all my dairy and lactose intolerant people, and some people did it. They did it, and they posted it, and realized that it worked. So I don't
Yeah.
know why. I don't know exactly. So when they pasteurize it, pasteurization is just supposed to be heating up, right? Just to kill bacteria, whatever. That's supposed to be pasteurizing. I think they do something else because why can I not have pasteurized milk, but I can have raw milk? What? How? Like if I have pasteurized milk, I'll be shitting myself for 2 days straight, and raw milk, nothing.
Well, that's with the pasteurization. Like I don't believe necessarily things are added to it, more that they are subtracted from it. Like yeah, it kills a lot of bacteria, but also the good ones that you need for your gut health.
Yeah, that might be why.
That's
I don't know. Yeah,
I
actually, I
mean,
eat
that's
raw
why I
cheese
drink a
every
lot of.
day. Raw milk is a little harder to find because it's illegal in most
Yeah,
states. You have to find somebody that will sell it to you under the table, basically.
like,
Or
it's
you
so
can
crazy.
buy raw milk for dogs in some stores. They literally have to write that it's for dogs to get away with it. So you might have to go to the pet section and see if you can find it there.
I mean, I drink a lot of kefir milk
Mm-hmm.
actually, which is pretty close to raw milk. It's basically the same thing. Um, it's a lot richer in
Mm-hmm.
protein as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of Greek yogurt, of
Mm-hmm.
course, high fat content, but yeah, like also pretty high in protein. Um, I think it's actually better to just eat a lot of protein, a lot of meat, a lot of dairy products, a lot of eggs instead of vegetables.
I'm a
If
little
you
like I
see,
used to do that. I used to eat in the bodybuilding thing. I would eat for almost a whole year. I had 4 to 5 steaks a day, and I did very much. But then I met my friend Joel, who is on this shirt too. I'm gonna tell he has a
Mhm.
fight soon. So he's been a vegan for 6+ years, I think. And so since I came here, I've been eating a lot of vegan food. But now we're talking like real, actual quality vegan food. And I
Yeah,
actually feel really good because I tried it in the past and it was not good. And I think the most important things for everybody out there, I don't care how you eat, if you're vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, whatever the fuck you are, find real food. That should be your priority. That should
yeah,
be the priority before starting to be like, I have to eat it. I mean, I was a bodybuilder. Like, we are like, oh, you have to eat this much of that. Yeah, but there's no quality. Instead of, because I used to think I had to buy low fat meat because if you ate too much fat, you couldn't get lean, blah, blah, blah. And that is kind of true until you start eating real meat. And I started buying meat from my friend. Like, if I buy the cow, I can't tell him to get 96% lean beef because the cow doesn't come that way. So my beef was like 80/20 or whatever, estimate.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
started eating that like all through the day, meaning now I'm eating way more fat than I ever did before. And weirdly enough, I still didn't gain any weight or fat. So I think when you eat real things, you don't have to be so darn specific about what it is, but when you eat fake things, that's when you have to do that, and at the end of the day it's going to make you sick anyway. So just find real food. And I do eat some vegan food, but I try to be like careful with vegetables and stuff because I don't really trust them. So when I do eat, like I eat like beans, I'll eat like a lot of fruit, but preferably organic with peels so I can take off the peels. I
Yeah.
don't really eat any greens, like leafy greens over here, because how the hell am I supposed to clean that? They're all sprayed with shit. So, um, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Unfortunately, so it's a mistake that I definitely have made before. Been
Hmm.
experimenting with a lot of different diets and
Yeah.
ways of eating, and I just basically, instead of like real sausage, I did like Beyond Sausage. Instead of real burger, I did Beyond Burger.
Yeah. Fuck
The,
that.
no, that was not good.
I
Like
mean,
I
you can make your
became.
own out of anything, though. I said, like, yesterday, I actually ate vegan food all day. Like, I'm a very up and down. I don't have a routine now. I am everything. I'm literally vegan, vegetarian, faster, carnivore. I do everything. I just eat whatever my body's asking for. And for a whole year, I have not. I've just eaten intuitively. I eat if I want to bake brownies one day, I do it because everything I eat is actual real food, and it's working incredible. And I was like, it's funny, when I used to care, I would have good and bad days. Now when I don't
Mhm.
care and just intuitively eat after what my body asks for, I always look good. I never have like a bad day. And there is actually, I'm in Albuquerque, and there's this Ayurvedic restaurant here. So Ayurveda is like a Indian style of like meditation, spirituality, food, everything. So this
I'm familiar
Ayurvedic,
with
so everything is cooked to be medicine for the body. So every single meal is made in a certain way. with certain ingredients in a certain order, blah, 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 to be like medicine. And I can go to this restaurant. We go there several times a week. Before I used to have a lot of gut issues before I started our food technology that helped my gut, but I was the person who never ate out. Like I just stopped eating out because it wasn't worth it. And then I went to this Ayurvedic restaurant when I first came here. Joel took me there and I was like, let's see how this goes. And I was like, oh my God, I feel incredible. So it's supposed to fuel you to the point where you feel amazing. So I will go there and I will eat Ayurvedic pancakes and quesadillas and, like delicious, like cheat food. And you leave feeling amazing. So whatever they do in this Ayurvedic cuisine thing, right? I'm like, oh my God, this is like amazing. I can eat out whenever I want and you just feel good.
I mean, it's probably not even the ingredients. I used to work as a cook, and used to
Oh, you,
have worked a couple of years as a sous chef in
uh
different
huh.
different restaurants and different kitchens. It's probably not even the ingredients. It's just the fact that they handle it with care and respect.
Yes, that's
Because
mhm.
it's the same reason why, when your mother's cooking or when your grandmother's cooking, for some reason it tastes 10 times
Oh,
better than when you make it.
energy. So here it says Ayurvedic food, a cornerstone of the ancient Indian system of medicine, emphasizes fresh whole food, seasonal eating, and a balance of flavors and properties to support overall well-being. It encourages
Yeah.
eating according to your body type, dosha, and focuses on digestion and assimilation of nutrients. So yeah, and I also know that when you go to this restaurant, there's a little sign that says you're supposed to eat after all the senses. And what is it? There's like 7 or 9 senses, and I'm like, I didn't even know some of these before. So everything you do is supposed to be in like it's all flowing and energy, and it's. I mean, I guess that's of
Yeah.
course, and there has to be quality too. It has to be fresh. It has to be real food, and then the fact that how they're cooking it and the energy and everything. I mean, it's just I just freaking love this, and I can even eat dessert and everything there.
And you can also incorporate the runes in your cooking. Even I know someone. She's Belgian, moved to Italy
Uh-huh.
for her husband.
Yeah.
She incorporates the runes in her cooking, in her baking. Like, for example, if she makes let's say a pie, and she really wishes for something, like, I don't know, like money is tight or
Mm-hmm.
something, like, she'll carve the Fehu rune in the dough before she bakes it.
Which one is that?
Fehu, first one, cattle, wealth.
Oh,
Like,
that one.
when money is
Oh,
tight, like, she'll
I thought
carve
I.
it into the dough and then bake it. So, infusing the essence of the rune into the pie or the
Guess
bread, or
putting
whatever
rune in her
she's
food today.
making. Yeah, I mean, you have to be conscious about it, about how you're doing it, and with the right intentions. Like, don't just
Yeah.
go do it all willy
Oh,
nilly.
I'm a master manifester. Like I obviously I probably indirectly already do all of these things. But I like that on. I said this is I've for the last years. I said my mom asked me once because I used to shoot commercials and stuff for a lot of big companies, and she asked me once. She's like, "Max, what do you do for work these days? Like, I don't see you do any photo shoots." I said, "Mom, I manifest. I manifest everything in my life. I manifest for me. I manifest for you. I manifest for all the kids we're saving. I manifest for the people I love. Everybody.
Yeah,
And now you're a part of it too. So I'll manifest for you too."
yeah. I mean, that's why I also like the suggestion of your coach to, when you're fighting, to paint the runes on, on your face, on your body.
Mm-hmm.
That really helps. That can really help. In especially the more battle ones. So, thinking probably Thurisas, the one for Thor, for Donar, since he is the strongest of all the gods. Little up. I saw it. Yeah, the third one
Oh, there.
from the top. Yeah. And yeah, that's a funny thing. Like it's the rune for the th sound. Like
Uh-huh.
that's those are not, two different letters. It's one sound.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think another good one would be algaes for protection. I mean, yeah, the
Oh.
yeah, the Z. So the bottom line, third one.
Oh, there. Yes.
Yeah,
Elk?
which
Oh,
yeah, elk or protection.
hmm. Actually, yeah,
And it
there isn't much elk to eat over here, but I used to eat it when I lived in Sweden.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
I bet. And if you that's another funny thing. If you look at the algaes rune, it looks very much like the peace sign,
Yeah,
but
it does actually, upside down without the circle. Hmm.
well, right side up, actually.
Oh, that's how it's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah,
They just flipped it for us.
yeah. So it resembles more of a rocket.
Little man that just.
Yeah, like party celebration. Well,
Mm-hmm.
everything's good, everything's well, and then the actual piece, sign or rune, however you
Mm-hmm.
want to call it, that that we know, um, more resembles a rocket, which I don't necessarily associate with peace.
I'm sure they did that on purpose.
Oh yeah,
Because it's
absolutely.
like, the people that run. I don't even want to. We should need to stop saying the people that run the world because we need to manifest that they're nothingness. The people that did these things, they obviously know the things that we know now and talk about, and that's why they've been able to use it against people. And from now
Yeah.
on, what should we need to come up with a name for them that is that says they're below us, because that's actually what they are.
I mean, that's why I don't like people referring to them as the elite. They're not the
Yeah,
elite.
true
They're
that.
not elite. If you want to call them elite, call them the parasitic elite. Because that's what they are. They're
Oh,
parasites. They're leeching off of us.
parasites. The bottom parasites. I don't know. Yeah, I'll figure something out. That's what we're gonna call them.
Yeah, sure.
We're
And
basically giving them the power and the credit.
yeah, and yeah, fucked up part is like you're talking about manifestation. That's what they use as well.
Yeah, of course.
But through us, because we keep, like, for example, what I just said with the elite, if we keep calling them the elite,
And
we're
they
giving them
get in through here.
that power. Yeah. Like we're giving them that power. We keep giving them that status, and it works in all ways, fear mongering as well. They tell us like, oh, you have to be scared of, I don't know, whatever it is. This time it's always something. And then yeah, like people get scared of it, which enhances it even further. Like that's also the ripple effect. Like
Hmm.
if you get very scared of something, then people around you are like, "Oh, like he's looking very scared. Like what's going on? Should we be scared? I think we should be scared."
People need to remove their fear. And I have well, I have this saying. I don't necessarily even need to say it anymore, but I had this thing I used to do in the past whenever I was about to do something that was a little scary, we could call it. I would
Mm-hmm.
always say, "Thank you, universe, for having my back." And then I do crazy things. And people will say, "You do crazy things. You do that." I said, "Well, I'm protected. Like nothing can happen to me, and I don't attract. It's almost like I'm doing the whole sovereign thing right now, right? So I have a sovereign
Mm.
passport and a sovereign driver's license, all the things, right? And then in a way I was thinking in my mind, like I am prepared. Let's say I get stopped, I am prepared. But I was like, the thing is, I never will though, because I don't attract that. Because I know in my heart I'm not doing anything wrong. If you walk around and you're worried, and you think, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, that's what you're going to attract, and that's what you're going to get. I was telling a friend of mine someday, and I said, why don't you just stop paying taxes? Oh, but I can't do that. I said, why? But you don't have to pay taxes though. Yeah, but what if they come for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you live in fear. So how are you even going to know about freedom when you're not even willing to try?
Yeah, which is, also why you'll see a lot of narcissists on, the very top of businesses. That's why a
Mhm.
lot of CEOs are narcissists. It's not that they are necessarily narcissistic because they are the CEO. It's they're
Mhm.
the CEO because they are narcissists, which
Yes.
is incredibly backwards, but they believe in themselves to such a degree that they basically manifest being the CEO because they believe, like, wholeheartedly, they believe that they're already the CEO. It's just a matter of signature.
Bad thing to be a narcissist. We just have a bad word for it now. So when you really think about it, that thing is what everyone should be.
It's
Maybe we
the
don't need to use
ultimate
that word.
manifestation.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate act of self-love. You love yourself to such a degree that you believe that you deserve the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
don't we all? Of course we do.
Yes.
Why should we deserve any less?
And actually, a funny story about this. So I went to this event this last weekend, right? And there was one part of the seminar where they're very big in like spirituality and manifesting and stuff. So they put up a little thing on the screen where it said, um, this year I am going to make X amount of money per month, and this will generate saving X amount of children, blah, blah, blah. So they're calling
Hmm.
people up, and you can say whatever you want, right? So, one person comes up, next person comes up, and the first one says, oh, this year. And first of all, most of them had, before they even said their sentence, they had an excuse to why they were going to say their sentence. Oh, but I was because, and then there was like an explanation for it first. First of all, you don't need to explain yourself. Next part, nobody said any more than $7,000 a month. That was the highest number. There were a few lower ones. Nobody said anything more. And I'm sitting there, I was like, why is nobody saying like $1 million? Like, why is nobody saying that? Or what I would have said, I would have had an absolute abundance of wealth to the point where I've saved every child on the planet. That was my sentence. I didn't go up, and I was like, I'm just going to just see what's going on here. Then
Yeah.
obviously Joel went up, King Bao, and he goes up and he was like, what the fuck? And he just said exactly the things I was thinking about, like, people. Like, what? Why? Like, if do you truly want to save every child on this planet? Because you're not with this goal. This goal ain't gonna take you there. Like, and people need to understand that. And I said, because they also asked, what is your goal for this year? People say, okay, I want a new house, I want to get a raise, I want to go on a vacation, yada 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 yada. And I call out to save every child on the planet. Say, oh no, I actually said I save the world. That's my goal. If my goal is to save the world and I saved 90% of it, at least I did better than you with your $3,000 goal. Like, you see what I mean? People need. Why do so many people have this limitation? Everyone's saying, I
Yeah.
won a world champion title. I am literally a nobody from Sweden with injuries and a body that looked like a toothpick. I'm definitely not a world champion athlete. But I went in and I fucking got a world champion title because I believed that I already had it. Yeah, it took some time to, yada yada yada. But that was a manifestation. And
Yeah.
people, oh my god! And my friend was saying, yeah, but people feel like you are out of the league. Like yeah, but Max, you're a super person. No, I'm not. I'm just the fuck like you. What's the difference with me except the fact that I believed it? That's the only difference. I was born with health issues and allergies and fucking, like, some of the things people don't even know. I was born so early. I had no functioning ears. I couldn't even pee by myself. Like, And then I started getting like gut shit, and I was allergic, and I was like, it was a lot of stuff. And then also, I didn't find out until I was older that I had scoliosis my whole life, but my mom didn't take me to the doctor, and I didn't really say anything that I was in pain all the time. So I just didn't get a diagnosis. And then fast forward, I probably had ADHD, but again, I don't believe in doctors. So they were like, yeah, but what's your diagnosis? I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Or like, I torn my knee at the fighting one time, and I'm just explaining to people what happened, and somebody's like, what did you get diagnosed with? Who cares? Who the fuck cares? I get diagnosed with whatever the fuck I want to diagnose myself with. I couldn't walk. That much I can tell you, but I ain't gonna use these fucking stupid words that they have. And then I have used on occasion to kind of explain, yeah, I probably had ADHD, but I don't use that term because it has a bad sound to it. What's wrong with being able to hyper focus on certain things and not focus on other things? Why is that a bad thing? But they tell you it's a bad thing. But
Yeah.
actually, if people with ADHD, we get fucking incredible at the shit we like.
Yeah. No, my wife is, she thinks the exact same way, like she'll call it a superpower,
Yeah, it is
actually.
a superpower.
And I've heard that more often from different people, that,
Mm-hmm.
the people who are, well, labeled, because that's what it is. It's a label to, help understand the person better. But okay, great. Like, you have ADHD and someone else has ADHD. That doesn't mean you're the same. Like, yours is
No,
probably way different than his or hers or theirs, or whatever. Just because you're diagnosed with the same thing, because you have the same label, doesn't mean you're the same.
we also
I
didn't
have firsthand
know
experience with that.
DNA can be reversed. You know, I posted a video a little while ago. We have a lady whose dad's dementia reversed in 14 days. And then people are like, why, if your product is so good that you say, why don't we know about it? What the fuck do you think? Why do you think you don't know about it? You think they want you to know that you can reverse things that they said is not reversible? No. We've seen some
I
crazy
mean,
things. I don't have
that
my things that I had my whole life anymore. None of them.
no, and that's good. I mean, then again, like manifestation, law of attraction, it works. Um, it works in conjunction with each other. Like, if you believe something,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, you're still gonna have to work for it. You're still gonna have to do the things to get there. It's not coming towards you, but because
Maybe.
you already believe that you're there, then
I believe
everything
things
you
coming.
you do is, to get there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you believe you're gonna be, like next UFC champion, who knows? You can get there for sure. If you just
That's
believe
my
that, then,
part
like,
of
automatically
that's
you're
the
gonna do the things that will get you there. So it works in both ways.
absolutely. Okay, so what else?
And
So what are you saying with the? How do you use the runes? Like, what do you personally do? How do you incorporate it into your days or life?
um not a whole lot, actually. I probably should be doing it more. Like, I do always, read about the runes. I always want to know more about the runes. Actually, on my own channel, on my Patreon, I'm reading a book, the Nightside of the
Mm-hmm.
Runes by Thomas Carlton, which is a very interesting book. So, always learning more. Um, yeah, in daily life, I don't do much with it. I perhaps I should do more. I know that on my hammer, the Thor or Thurisas is fully written out in runes, and I only take this off when I go to bed,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't feel like losing it or strangling myself in my sleep.
Why not wear when you sleep?
Just comfort thing. But I do always have it next to me on the bedside table. I'll actually hang it over my.
If maybe you need it
my
when you go into dreamland.
no, I can. I do just fine with without the hammer, but it has come to the point that um, first thing I do in the morning is wear my hammer again. Like it's become part of me, and I always kind of feel naked, feel incomplete
Mm-hmm. Is
without it. It just feels weird.
that a kitty?
Yeah, that's one of my kitties. The other one is playing outside. So I kind of have Freya in the house as well. She loves her cats, of course.
Yes. Oh yeah, I saw that. That is said that. I recently got a bearded dragon.
Those
Little
are awesome.
lizard. Yeah, oh my god, he's so cute. He just went to Dallas with me. He traveled in the car. I'm sure he was kind of over it, the bumpy ride. He's just sitting in there.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, if I use the runes, it's mostly for protection. You know, I do unfortunately have people in my life who wish me less than well.
Why is And wait, they're still in your life and they wish you not well?
Yeah, the one that wishes me the least, I actually have two kids with.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
it's a very very long, complicated story.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Have you ever
but
tried to? I mean, there's so many different ways to do it, but to like, well, I've had people in the past that I've had not so good relationships with, and I've done a kind of meditation, I guess you could call it, to basically remove the blockage between us and fast forward we have a great relationship now. So it was actually my aunt that told me once.
it's
Like I didn't even think about it, but I started applying it. And then I started telling other people. I've even had people in my DM, random strangers, who would say, just an example, has somebody messaged me, "Oh my God, Maaxx, I really love your content. You seem like such a cool person." Okay, this might be a weird message, but he said, "Oh, I wish my girlfriend was more chill like you, whatever." So I said, "Okay, what's going on?" No, but we've had, and some people, which I feel is a good thing, people open up to me a lot, like
yeah.
a lot about all kinds of stuff, very personal things. Either way, just blurb out all this stuff, right? And I said, "Hey, would you try something?" So I told this person, "Can you every day say out loud?" And this is just one way to do it. I said, "Me and my girlfriend have an amazing relationship." I said, "Say it out loud every day, several times." Either way, fast forward, I got a message after 2 weeks. "Oh my God, Maaxx, it worked." He said, "I have had the best week of our entire relationship." And I said, "Yes, sometimes you just have to, not to say you just say it and suddenly you have the best relationship in the world. No, but doing that is definitely going to make it better than it was."
I have tried numerous times. I have tried a whole bunch of things, of different kinds of magic, different kinds of spiritual practices in general. It doesn't seem to work. It doesn't want to work, and it's not because of a lack of effort on my side. Like I have come to terms with the fact that for as long as we both live, or either of us lives, we have two kids together. We are going to be connected, at least through them. So I don't necessarily have to be, friends with my ex. I don't have to be best friends with her, but I at least just like, can we act like civilized people? And I have tried
Mm-hmm.
so many times. But if there is a block, whenever I try to remove it, she throws it back up. So I just kind
Do you
of,
know why? Like, what do you think is
yeah, I do actually.
why she would do that?
I know why she does that. I know very well actually, and that has to do with with her past,
Mm.
and she is very, very afraid to get hurt. She's very afraid to open up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's even to the point, which is sad. Really, I do feel for her in that regard. She had a boyfriend a
Mm-hmm.
while back who actually lived pretty close to her. That is, and they seem to be quite fond of each other. Like I could actually see her um, lighten up, like almost in real time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the good person that I know is somewhere deep inside,
Mm-hmm.
you know, actually came out
Mm-hmm.
or started to come out. You know, she seemed very, very happy,
Mm-hmm.
and it scared the living shit out of her.
Oh,
So she cut it off.
I think this is a very common thing. I mean, I
But
feel like a lot of people have been there. I'm gonna say I've probably been there too, and it's taken a lot of work to get to the point where you can actually express things properly. And not to say nobody's perfect. We actually did a little game of this at this event. We do a lot of cool things at the Alovea events, but they were basically they called out, okay, so if you're in a stressful situation, do you shut down and isolate yourself, go over there? Do you get aggressive and start like you go over there, blah blah blah? And then we did ran through like a tons and tons of different questions like that, and it was very interesting to see how people line up. And I think first step is obviously to recognize what it is you do, and once you recognize that this is what I do, okay, so when I'm in the situation, can I just take a breath and like think, how am I supposed to react to this instead of just reacting? And it takes a lot of work, but
hmm,
people need to do self work.
and yeah, unfortunately, she refuses to do so because she doesn't think that she's doing anything wrong. It's always the other person.
Well, that's kind of the reality of the world today. That's what they want people to think so that we are not what we
Oh,
are.
but that's with her. It's not even outside influence.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just a lot of trauma, a lot of distrust, a lot of hurt from the past that she's clinging on to, and
She needs
letting.
an exorcism.
Oh boy, the stuff that will come out. Like I have,
I think
I have
everyone
met,
should have an
I've
exorcism.
met a few of her demons actually. I've seen them
Mm-hmm.
come out. Um,
It's not a bad
yeah.
experience. I mean, depending on how you take it, but I, if I would have known about that when I was young, I was like, wow, everyone should do this. Everyone, because also as we're talking to the demons, you can ask them anything. So they're asking, when did they enter? Why did they enter? At what age? Like, what? How old were you? And it said things to me that I was like, huh, that's so interesting. And then I actually called my mom and I said, well, one of the demons said that they entered me when I was 12 years old on this and this in this situation, blah, blah. And I was like, I wonder, what was that? And she's like, huh, I know what that is. She said, that's the day when you and my dad and I got divorced. And I was like, oh, wow.
Mm,
And I never thought that I even felt bad about it. But I guess I had just been holding that in, right?
yeah. No, that really sounds familiar. I mean, I guess I am thankful, not just for my kids, of course. Like I'll forever be thankful,
Mm-hmm.
to her for the two beautiful kids that I do have. But she is also very much, in a very more violent, confrontational way,
Mm-hmm.
made me see, made me recognize, made me feel my own shadow side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was because she managed to bring all that out. I had to do a lot of inner work. I had to do a lot of shadow work, a lot of questioning
Mm-hmm.
myself. Definitely scared myself a couple of times. That it did indeed feel like something took over, which
Mm-hmm.
I mean, quite literally scared me straight because I was like, okay, never again.
Mm-hmm.
It did also make me understand better the parasites, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
because like if that is the feeling of power that they have like pretty much 24/7, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncontrollable. It's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely uncontrollable, but by the gods, it's a good feeling. So I guess I'm kind of thankful for that, and that's also why I called my tribe the Grey Horn Pagans, because I consider myself to be grey. I walk the middle path.
Mm-hmm.
I can be on both sides. I can do the light thing. I can do the more darker things if I need to,
Mm-hmm.
and that works for me. The middle pillar, the middle path, the gray one. It's kind of, I guess, the Wotanic spirit in me, because he is the Grey Wanderer as well. Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of inspiration was taken from Wotan when Tolkien was writing that character.
Hmm. Let me put some. Let's
I
see.
mean, Tolkien, he was a very strict Catholic, of course, but there's a lot of Germanic pagan, a lot of Celtic pagan imagery to be found in his books as well.
Trying to see if I can put some things. See if I find something, or if you have anything that I can add in the caption, just send it to me.
I'll have to look for some things, but I know that that is how Wotan wanders the earth, as the Grey Wanderer
Gray.
with with a gray hood up, and that's also why it says in the I believe that is in the Havamal that whenever you entertain a stranger,
Mm-hmm.
you know be kind, because for all you know, it might be Odin who you are
That
entertaining.
is very true. I just got goosebumps when you said that. Who knows?
And I mean, it should be a basic rule. If
Mm-hmm.
you have someone over, whether it's for the first time or the 100th time, be nice to them, but especially strangers. Just be nice. Wanderers, travelers,
Mm-hmm.
be nice. They have a lot of wisdom. They have a lot of wisdom to share,
Yes.
as does Wotan. He is the god of wisdom.
Mm.
And he's the furious one. So, if you scorn him, that's the end. You've done it once, you won't do it twice.
Yes, that is very true. Now I got yeah. I mean, now I'm gonna go out in the and about in the world here today and just like, is that? No, but it's a good way to think for sure. I'm definitely gonna say I'm always nice to a stranger unless they do something to piss me off. That's a different story. But I've always spent my whole life. I've been in relationships that got very aggressive. I never start anything. I never start a fight. I never start anything. Because I was saying with the
Mhm.
fighting too, I was said if I ever have a fight, I was like, how is that to like hit somebody that have done nothing? And everyone here just looks at me. When that fucker punched you in the face, they did something. Okay, now I was
Yeah.
like, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, and that's also a very Germanic way of thinking. It's well, retaliation basically, but like on an equal level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just gonna turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just, it's an eye for an eye,
Yes.
and it's not because I want to fight, because I want to, I want to be in an argument or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna act, like that towards me, I'm I'm gonna give you the same back. And that's also what drew me in to the whole, pagan, heathen, lifestyle. It's not a, I mean, is it a lifestyle? I don't know. It's not a religion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I call it a way of life, really, because that's what it is. It's very much, it's a warrior culture. Be nice, just be nice to each other. Have, treat each other with respect, treat each other with love,
Mm-hmm.
but don't take shit. You know, if they insult you, make sure they don't do it again.
Yes. So, what do you
If,
guys
if
have like a group of people, or like do you just call yourself this, or do you have like your little tribe?
I do have my own tribe. I did start my own tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Really trying to get that, IRL as
Mm-hmm.
well. I have met a few of my fellow Dutchies in the
Mm-hmm.
tribe, of course, lovely people.
Mm-hmm.
Joost is in the tribe as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's now part of it. He seems to have a grand old time, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Or like, what do you do? Do you get together?
we do a lot, actually. Like I started the tribe, first of all, to be an open space for everyone, like not just people walking the pagan path, but also the ones who are interested in learning more, the ones who have that inkling of, there's something that's out there for me, but I don't know what it is. They
Mm-hmm.
are most welcome. I mean, we basically have two rules, or one really: just treat each other with respect.
Yep.
Like, respect each other. That's all we ask, and some basic mannerism, of course. Um, but yeah, I started the tribe just for seekers, really, because I've been looking for a group, for a tribe, ever
Mm-hmm.
since I awoke to this path. I found many,
Mm-hmm.
never managed to stay in one, because I always felt like I outgrew it really quickly.
Yeah.
And then the founders of that group, um, they didn't like that, because it took the attention away from them.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, it was a lot of clashing of egos
Yeah.
as well. Like, I came into those groups wanting to learn and wanting to share what I have learned.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as that became more popular, and I got more attention, if you will, than the founder or founders of that particular group, trouble started.
Yeah.
And I got so sick and tired of that, joining group after group, and same thing repeating over and over again, that I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this myself. If you want it done right, do it yourself.
Yep. I fully agree. So, what's your goal where like you do your podcast and everything? What's your goal?
Yeah.
What do you wanna? Where do you see this going? What do you want to achieve?
I I want an actual piece of tribal land where um where I can live, where we can live, where the people that are looking for a tribe, for a group, can live, can be, can just be themselves, where we can do the rituals under the full moon, or the solstice rituals, very much for your American viewers, the Native American ideal. You know, have your own tribal land and live on it, worship it, work on it, to be able to live like my ancestors did. But now that is my goal. That is the goal that I have set for myself, and everything that I do is inroads to that. And with the podcast, it's a lot of exploring, informing. As I said in the beginning, I have in the 3 years that I've been doing it, I learned so much about about paganism, about the different spiritual and occult
Mm-hmm.
practices, and I try to share what I have learned as well, as a way to also honor Wotan,
Mm-hmm.
of course, the god of wisdom, the god of knowledge. You don't keep it for yourself, you spread it. You're a student and a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is the ultimate goal, to have my own, or my own, our own, I should say, piece of tribal lands where we can live self-sufficiently.
I feel like we all have very similar goals here. It's the same.
Yeah, yeah, and more people, agree with that. We did set up something for that, the Grove of Odin,
Oh.
which is legally recognized. Well, we're not doing as much with it yet, but slowly but surely building it up. It is part of the Grey Horn Pagans. Um, so it is legally recognized in the US. I want it legally recognized here in the Netherlands, and eventually the whole of Europe
Mm-hmm.
as well. I, I'm not looking to convert people. I'm not. That's not what I do. I want to educate.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share what I know, share what I have learned, and I want to learn from others as well. And that's the reason why I started my podcast, and that's it's been growing. It's been growing nicely. It's been growing well.
Mm-hmm.
Brought me many opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and
Where do we find it?
event.
If somebody wants to go.
Um, you can find it on the main hub, or YouTube and Spreaker.
Mm.
But you can
Have
find it on.
a link tree or something? Oh wait, is it in your Instagram?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can also just go to the website www.greyhornpagans.com. Everything is on the
Perfect.
website.
I will put it in the
Yeah.
caption. Uh, book a spot on the podcast. Or no, can you just? Oh yeah, okay, YouTube. Okay, perfect. I will put it in the caption so
Yeah.
go check it out.
So just the website. That's where everything is, and that's where also you can find a lot of the other people and other tribes and groups that we have
Mm-hmm.
associated ourselves with, that we are very closely connected with, and that we are also very much learning from, and they're learning from us.
It's cool, but
So
like you say,
you
a
know,
lot of people are thinking very similar. So when you really think about it, why don't all of us, all the people out there, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just do it?
I am. I am
I'm
doing
talking to
it. I
everybody
am
because
working on
if
it.
every
And it's,
single person out there will just do what we want to do and what we're meant to do, then these parasites that we call them now, they can't do anything.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm working towards. That's why I say self-sufficiently, so that I don't need the system to help me. I don't need a full-time day job to
I was just gonna say,
barely
do you have
barely pay the rent.
anything? Do you have a job?
Yeah, I still do. I work in security.
Oh, what kind of security?
Prison.
Prison. Okay. You have any
It's
cool prison stories?
uh none that I can share, unfortunately. Not if I want to keep my job.
Got it.
And for the time being, I need my job.
Yes. Well, I'm hoping. Do you feel like it's giving somehow? Is it giving gain? Are you gaining any good knowledge by being there?
It's it's showing me, teaching me a whole different side of society, and yeah, it's making me, well, unlearn a lot of things, rethink a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
because the penitentiary where I work at, we have people um who are doing life there, and people there who are, just there for a couple months, couple
What's
weeks,
life in
maybe.
the Netherlands? Because I've told people before that lifetime in Sweden is actually 8 years.
Life is life.
Okay. Yeah, that's how it should be, I would say.
Yeah, no, it is.
You can also
I've
get several lifetimes, though. That's the thing. But yeah, I don't
I know,
hear people
and
applying. But when I was there, lifetime was
I
enough.
mean, I'm not sure like how that would work. Like once you're reincarnated, like your reincarnation gets locked up again. I don't know. Um,
Good question, actually. Who knows?
it's an interesting premise. No, multiple lifetimes is not a thing here in the Netherlands. We are a rational thinking folk. So yeah, no, but um, and for for a lot of people who are oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened? But yeah, for a lot of people who I work with, and who who I at least see on a almost daily basis, um, you kind of have to separate what they did from who they are, and some just made a mistake, made a
Yeah.
big mistake,
Mm-hmm.
and it cost them their freedom, just in a flash of fury. They did something that they can't reverse, and now they're paying the price
Yep.
for it. And some people, of course, most definitely knew
Oh yeah. Yeah.
what they did, and did it regardless. We have all kinds, um in the penitentiary where I work, but it's an interesting environment.
Yeah. What do you think about the when somebody if somebody's done evil in this life? Do you think
Mhm.
that they get reborn as a pig? You heard that story?
I'm familiar with it, yes, and that is the reason why pig flesh is so incredibly similar
Mm-hmm.
to that of humans. Like I believe it's like 90% similar.
Yeah. Apparently,
Um,
also a portobello mushroom is. They're saying that the portobello mushroom has, however you explain the mushroom, DNA as a human. I was told by somebody, and I do believe that if this person said it, it probably something to it, but I haven't looked into it. They're saying
oh,
we're
that
not
I
supposed
didn't.
to eat pigs, and we're not. I think it was portobello mushroom. I think it
I mean,
was.
they are very, very meaty mushrooms. Um, I know I have heard the pig one
Mm-hmm.
before. I'm I'm not sure about that. Um, I'm not gonna say it's not a
Ah,
thing.
it says actually, I just Googled it. Again, we don't know Google like that, whatever it tells us, but it says humans share about 30 to 50% of their DNA with fungi, including mushrooms. This genetic closeness is why fungi are more closely related to animals and plants. I don't know. This
Oh,
person said specifically portobello, though, so that's just what Google told me right
oh,
now.
that's interesting. I never heard that one before. I mean, I do believe that um, bad things will happen to bad people, whether it's in this life or the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
um in Norse paganism, Germanic paganism, however you want to call it, we do have realms of punishment, not like the Christian hell,
Mm-hmm.
although that is kind of copied from ours, of course.
Although a lot of people say hell is right here. Oh, wait, not right here in my room, but in this life.
um I don't know. I like the I like I think my favorite concept of hell is from the Divine Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the nine circles of hell, with each circle worse and worse, and the punishment fitting the crime. I like that idea very much. Dante's Inferno, Divine Comedy,
Mm-hmm.
by Dante Alighieri. I think that's a very interesting premise. And also, I think it's very nice that he even had like a not a heaven, but still, a heavenly realm for the pagans.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually classified pagans as like, yeah, like they don't believe in the one true God, but at least they believe in gods. So
Have you
you
seen
know,
the movie As Above, So Below? Because this is actually one of my favorite movies ever. It's about the Dante Inferno, and
oh
uh,
no, I
in
am
2014.
familiar with it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
it's a great freaking movie. Very good. I need to rewatch it because that's actually how I got into the food technology and the mission of saving kids. Because I watched this movie way back, probably around 2014 when it came out, and my friends, my best friends, they had just been on a trip to the cat and visited the catacombs, and they got me this little freaking souvenir thing, and it was like a thing, and we were talking about it all the
Mm.
time. And I had just come here from Sweden, so I guess my accent was way heavier, and I was trying to explain to my friend, I was like, as above so below, as above, and he was like, what language is that? So it just became like this inside joke. And then about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I was sitting at home one day, and I saw Joel King Bau on Alex Jones podcast, and the only reason I watched the podcast was because he said as above so below, and I was like, what did he say? And then I started watching it, and then he said, I'm going to eradicate child malnutrition, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, boom, here I am. Now I've been doing this for a year. And that day, I found my purpose in life.
Nice. It's a very old hermetic principle
Mm-hmm.
that as which is above, that is also like it, which is below.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can really take that however you want. I actually had a hermeticist and alchemist on my podcast, and recently was present at a lecture about Egyptology from a very well respected Egyptologist,
Uh-huh.
Dr. Darnell.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, was very interesting, and also I very much loved hearing that in ancient Egypt, like ancient
Yeah.
Egypt, magic wasn't special. It was an everyday thing.
Yeah, as it should be.
Like, yeah, I mean, it still is. We just stop believing it is. Oh, it's something of fairy tales. No,
No,
magic is everywhere. It's everything,
actually,
really.
something I've noticed. So I got my bearded dragon, right? My little
Mm.
lizard. And, I'm very much about energy work. I can, create energy, transfer it, do things with it, blah, blah, blah. I get him, and the other day on the way home, we're sitting at my friend's house, and I took him out of his little aquarium, and I sat with him in my hand, and we had like this whole an hour of bonding moment, that pretty much. And I'm
Mhm.
sitting there, and I was like, oh my god, this little guy is just transferring so much energy to me. I just feel my entire hand and arm, and I just feel the energy, and it was cool. And then yesterday, I asked Joel to just come and hold him while I cleaned out his aquarium a little bit, and he's just like, wow, this guy is really transferring a lot of energy. I'm like, I know, like crazy. I've never felt that much energy coming from an, I mean, I haven't necessarily held every animal that exists, but of any animal I've ever met, I never felt it that strong.
Yeah. No, it's that's true. Um, I have it with my cats
Mm-hmm.
and my well biggest one, my oldest one. In particular, like he is my familiar. He is
Mm-hmm.
me, but as a cat. Which is the exact reason why my cousin she introduced me to him because she I was still on Facebook at
Mm-hmm.
that time. One of the best decisions I ever made was get the hell off that platform.
Yep.
And she was like, "Hey, saw you were looking for for a pet. I have this this cat who is looking for a new home. He's called Timmy, and he very much reminds me of you." And I was like, "Okay, is that a good
That
thing?"
compliment.
And I've had Timmy now for, geez, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5 years. He's been with me, and yeah, he is me as a cat. Um, but you know, it helps a lot by just having having a pet. It can be can be a bearded dragon, can be a fish, can
Oh,
be a
it was
cat. Just
all of my pets I've ever had has been like not planned out at all. I just this day I've never even considered in my life to have a reptilian or a reptile. Okay, you see what
something
I'm
like
obsessing with. Either way, I've never even thought of it, and he is a reptilian. So we're just driving one day, and we took a different route home than usual. Like I don't know why it was just meant to be that way. And we're driving, and both of us turn like, is that it? Did it say exotic pet store over there? Like, I didn't even know there was one here. Okay, let's go check that out. I wonder what that is. We go inside. And it's like this tiny little store, and they have some snakes and like cockroaches and spiders and whatever. Like, it's a very, very small little store.
that.
And I'm just walking, and I said, "Does it say dragon on the sign over there?" Because I am crazy over dragons right now. I did a whole
Hell yeah.
live session on the dragons, and I'm like, I want to connect with dragons. Like, I'm all about the dragons. And I was like, "Does it say dragon on the sign over there?" And I go over, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's so darn cute." I'm like, I mean, it's got to be a sign, right? So yeah, came home with him that day. And it was just like, he's my baby.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. Like sometimes you just feel the urge,
Yeah, I
and
had the same my first dog I had. I mean, I wasn't planning to have a dog. I've never had an animal because my mom was always allergic. We had a hamster once, and then I had a goldfish, and then I've never had a pet like ever after that. And I just walked in one day, and it was just this one dog that just literally all the dogs were sleeping, and this one dog was awake and just like, I was like, "Oh God, can I hold him?" I was like, "Okay, this is my dog now." you know.
yeah, yeah. I had a similar story with the little kitty that
Mm-hmm.
is somewhere around here. She always disappears. Little shadow. Um, I actually let my wife and my kids convince me to get another kitty
Mm-hmm.
because Timmy is all by his lonesome, especially when I'm at work. So he has someone to play with. It took him a while to to accept her because he's just this big old grumpy cat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I went to the same rescue in Amsterdam where my sister found her cat,
Mm-hmm.
who is definitely her familiar, even though she's not you know spiritual like I am.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Celine, I call her Celine after the moon goddess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was the second one I got introduced to. Like the first one, just didn't wanna bother. Like yeah, it came out for treats. it ate the treats, and then was kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to sleep. Nighty night. So just not interested. Then I got introduced to Celine, who was at that point like just a few months old, and she pretty much like jumped in my arms right away. Like if it was up to her, she would have went with me right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was like, so stinking cute and so incredibly enthusiastic. You know what? Yeah, you're coming with me. So filled out the paperwork. Had to wait a bit for it all to process. Then took her home, and yeah, she fits right in.
That's how it works.
So yeah, yeah, it does. And I never even planned on getting one cat, let alone two.
Mm-hmm.
And now I do. So yeah, sometimes sometimes life just works that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like with your story, you take a different route home because yeah, you feel like it.
I did a meditation. So one of the meditations we do, basically, there's this one place that I keep visiting all the time in my meditation, and I guess it's like my future place to live, kind of. So it's a whole, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a whole land, basically. And then I live in, so my whole house is in a cave. And I keep repeatedly going back to this place. And last time I was there, I had 4 dogs, a goat, and my lizard. They all came running out when I got there. So I guess that's what I'm gonna have.
A home in a cave, four
And like a
dogs, a goat,
goat
and
of
your
all
lizard.
things. But yeah, there was a goat there too.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Hmm. Sometimes we do
That
those.
sounds
We do a lot of meditations on the astro class, and I mean, it's interesting when you obviously we get just a little bit of direction of what we're trying to look for, but there's no
yeah,
rule for like what's gonna happen. And he always tells us too, when you go somewhere, if something else happens than what I said, just go with it. Like, and
yeah.
then I love this class. There's this obviously these chatty people that was like, I went there and then I saw a yellow ball. Is that right? Did I do it wrong? Should have been another color. Just no. you know it's kind
Yeah.
of like that.
I
I was like, just do what you do.
I've done those kind of group meditations, guided
No, this
meditations
is the
as
astral
well with
travel class, so everything has to be done in a certain order. So we basically spent about 9 weeks on just learning how to instantly cleanse ourselves from bad energy. So there's a
mm.
whole process to even get to. The whole point and purpose of it is to kill demons. That's what we're getting to. But
Oh
and then
wow.
I had a live actually with a guy who used to do remote viewing for the military, and we were talking about this, and he said, "Wow, I wish they taught us that, because there, if you don't know how to protect yourself and you go into the astral world, you're not going to be fine." Like, you need to
No.
know how to protect yourself, how to cleanse yourself, how to remove darkness and bad energy. And that's why there's such a big chunk of this class that is just that, and we are just approaching like actually doing something. And now, like, when now we've gone through and say, okay, I understand now why we have to do all of this. We do DNA repair, like everything. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. But sometimes we've done certain uh, meditations where we're supposed to go somewhere to basically clean something or fix something, and then I get
Mm.
there and then I see something completely different and just kind of roll with it. But it always makes sense. It's very cool.
Interesting.
Very cool. Like, I've
I've
been able to leave my body for years, but I've just never been able to control it. So I don't know what I do. I don't know where I go. My mom has, like, first, now it's happened several times, and she called me one day. She's like, did you send me energy yesterday? And I said, well, Mom, I always send you energy. You were in my bedroom, she said. I was like, what? I don't know. No, you were there, she said. And now it's happened like 3 times that she sees me in her bedroom. So I was like, I guess that's where I'm going, but I don't necessarily know where I am going, and that's what I am learning to control.
Ah, okay, okay.
Because I
Yeah,
leave,
no,
like I'm gone, gone. Like I don't feel my body, I don't feel my heart, nothing. I'm out.
oh, that's fascinating.
I learned
I've
that
done
I had an
diff-
injury way in the past, and I thought I was gonna die. Like I was in so much pain. I lay in the hospital with this whole arm situation. They thought they were gonna amputate it, and they couldn't ease my pain. Nothing worked, and I was laying there, and I'm just like, I can't, like I can't do this shit anymore. I'm 18 hours. I was counting the time because nobody would come and help me, and the medication doesn't work on me. Morphine doesn't work. Like nothing works on me, and my body's just rejecting it. So I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. And I was just at the point where I was like, I can't fight this pain anymore. And from that day and after that, I started learning how to, I disconnected from my body to the point where I couldn't feel the pain. And then I got really good at it. I used to have issues sleeping too from my crazy hyperactive brain. So all I would do, and people are like, how do you fall asleep so fast? It takes like 2 seconds. Yeah, I lay down and I leave my body. If I can't feel my body and I can't feel my mind, I just fall asleep. It's freaking convenient, because I
that
can
is
I
really
can just fall asleep
fascinating.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've done different guided meditations, more oriented towards paganism, of course, with a another Dutch tribe of the Fox. Um, um, I like those. I like them very much. They're good. They're
It's
good
not
peeps.
really a guided meditation. I've done like guided meditation. I don't really know how to describe
I
this.
mean,
It's like,
meditation, travel. It's
yeah,
was
but
really
basically
a
it just gives us a task and then off you go. Like off you go. There's no talking, there's no nothing. It's hard to explain. So the whole point of it is
no.
to
I
be able to go into the astral spiritual realm and start to actually fight darkness.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't inner travel
Mhm.
that we did. It was really really cool. And they're really free and like how you want to do it. They just
Mhm.
as you do. They give you some pointers, and that's on
Yeah.
where you go. So what they it was the last one I did with them was a whole day dedicated to Wotan and
Ooh.
the Manabunda,
Yeah.
the berserkers,
Uh-huh.
um, and they Martijn and Dirkje from Tribe of the Fox,
Uh-huh.
they guided the like us, the group that we were with. They guided us to um, how they said it. It was a dark forest, like an
Mhm.
open spot in a dark forest with a fire. On that fire hangs a kettle. No, it's just yeah, just a fire. Just
Uh-huh.
this large fire, if you will. We're all sitting around the campfire.
Mhm.
Try to imagine yourself there.
Mhm.
Then out of the woods, a elderly lady, a white witch, comes walking, and she throws water on the fire, creating this huge cloud, huge steam. And then in that steam you were told to find your spirit animal, to find
Yes. Yeah,
your
yeah.
power
That one too.
animal. And that could be whatever. It didn't have to be the standard things of the wolf or the crow or this or the owl or whatever. It could be fucking anything. It could be a parrot for all they care, as long as it's
Where you find
your
your
spirit
spirit
animal,
animal,
your power
and then you
animal.
meditate on it and release it.
Yeah.
And then you can keep going and find another one, basically.
I mean, yeah, they didn't really tell us to release it. They told us to get to know it,
Mhm. Yeah.
um inhabit, or to let the spirits of that
Did
animal,
you
come within you,
animal?
to become your spirit animal, really. And if you felt like acting up, just go crazy. It was about Wotan and the Manabunda, the furious god, the berserkers. Like, if you feel the need to go berserk, go berserk. Like, it is a safe space. We're all here, we're all heathens, we're all pagans, we're all, about the same thing. We're all here for the same purpose, and that is to, to get to know ourselves, to get to know the Votanic, for that day. At least they do a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
to get to know the Votanic energy within ourselves. And I have connected with the energy before. It cannot be contained, not in the
Folks
slightest. It
are
is
almost here.
so dense. It is so strong. You really have to be a strong practitioner, a strong individual, to be able to properly handle Botanic energy, because it will drive you mad otherwise.
Interesting. Now I'm very curious about this.
Yeah, because I mean, Wotan, he he's said to be a left hand path god, which, so in his pursuit of knowledge and of the ultimate wisdom,
Uh-huh.
um, there were no boundaries. The ends justifies the means. If I have to do heinous shit in order to attain greater wisdom, then I will do so. Um, so he did some things that, um, well, you shouldn't.
Uh-huh.
Won't name the things necessarily, but, let's just say he didn't always have permission. Um, but in the end, he did attain true wisdom. It was also when he sacrificed himself to himself, when he hung on the branch of the Yggdrasil, of the world tree, for 9 days and 9 nights, wounded by his own spear. A story that may sound familiar.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was then, you know, quite literally dying from his wounds, dying from hunger, dying from thirst, because it was also during those 9 days and 9 nights he refused everything. No help, no food, no drink, just
Mm-hmm.
pure concentration, suffering, sacrifice. And that is when he saw the runes. That's when he learned the magic of the runes, and that was basically when, um, that's when it was completed. He gave the ultimate sacrifice. He sacrificed himself to attain, the highest wisdom there is, and the sacrifice was accepted. And that's when he saw the runes, when he saw the, incredibly powerful magic that is within the runes. And he's been the ruler of Asgard, of the realm of the gods, ever since.
Well, we got some work to do.
Oh yeah, a lot of work to do. And that's also why in, a lot of the Germanic and Scandinavian countries, why, sacrifice or self-sacrifice is still such a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to give up things to gain things.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to lose some to get some.
Yep.
Especially if you're doing a lot of inner work, you need to be able to release things in order to, gain new.
Mm-hmm.
Release the old to attain the new. And that is also what what attracted me so much, because I was like, man, I've been doing this like unconsciously
Yes.
forever, really.
Think a lot of people are stuck. One thing that, and this is a very like simple example of this in the daily life. So, ever since I was very young, I've a lot of times in my life I've given up everything. Gave up my home, my work, all my belongings, and just took off to find something new. And I realized every time I did it, I gained so much out of it. So I have no fear of doing. I mean, I just came to Albuquerque in the end of last year. I had just bought a house in Vegas, just renovated it. It was beautiful. It was like my dream home. And then, signs land in my lap from the universe, and I just took all my stuff and moved over. Or took, I didn't even bring very much. I brought like one bag, like my computer and other stuff. I didn't even bring any clothes, nothing. Just moved right over here. And a lot of times I've talked to, people I know, and they say, "Oh my God, I hate my job, and I wish I could do what you do and move somewhere else." And I said, "So do it." No, but I can't quit my job because I don't have a new job yet. Well, that's the thing. You don't have a new job because you're not giving up the old one. And I mean, this is a very like simple example of it, but
Yeah,
if you hate your job and you want to change in your life, maybe you just need to quit and not go around and wait for that backup plan. I mean, you can apply to anything. Or people that have, maybe they want to leave their partner, but they don't want to be alone. So they wait till they have a backup girlfriend or boyfriend. And then it can apply to anything. But sometimes you just have
yeah,
to let go of everything and be in the unknown for a little bit. And then all the things will come to you. And a lot
yeah.
of times the new thing doesn't come to you because you're still holding on to the old thing.
Exactly, exactly. And it's a big thing in the 21st century as well. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to, or willing to sacrifice comfort,
Yes.
because within comfort, like, yeah, you can grow.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, like if you're comfortable, then yeah, you can definitely grow, but you learn the most from being uncomfortable. And when you're put into situations when you have no idea what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we all start with things. Like, you start bare bones. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, like, I wasn't born with all the knowledge and abilities that I have now. Or maybe I was. It's just,
I was
over time
gonna
I had
say,
to,
were.
I still see,
They
still
were
learning,
just coming
still
back.
correcting myself.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. It's very possible though.
Yeah, but over time, I started reading things. I started reading about things. I started, thinking about things, thinking about thinking, um, and gained a lot of knowledge, gained a lot of wisdom, gained a lot of experience. And I'm still learning to this day. And all started very bare bones. Like, also with my podcast. How did I start? I had a, gosh, it was like cheap €30 microphone and my laptop webcam.
Mm-hmm.
The quality was horrendous,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely horrendous. But I had to start somewhere. And now, I got a proper mic, I got lighting, I got cam. I'm still upgrading things
No,
because,
same.
I'm,
It's upgrading quick here, but I mean, I'd never done. I've done a little bit of podcasting and whatever before. I'd never done live streaming. I can tell you guys that I started the live streaming in the end of last year, and I was sitting here ripping my hair out almost because I don't do audio. I'm an expert when it comes to video and photography, but audio was
Mhm.
never my thing. And I would be like, "Dog, I'm gonna throw this shit out." He's like, "Relax, I'm gonna help you." Like it would just not work. And now, here we are, and it works, and it works. So, like you can do a little thing at a time. And it's not that. So if somebody thinks, "Oh, but Max, you got this all shit set up so nicely because you knew this already," I knew nothing about audio in the end of last year.
Yeah, but you learn quickly by just doing it.
Yes.
And that's why with the other project that I'm involved with across the pond, um, the founder Andy has like huge dreams about what he wants to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
but they like Andy and the other host Lee, like they quickly realized that when it comes to like actually podcasting, like
Mm-hmm.
recording and editing and making it look nice and all of that, I'm the one with the most experience,
Mm-hmm.
and I've only been doing it for 3 years. So now they're for the experience, they're kind of leaning on me, which is great. But like at the same time, it's also kind of feels like imposter syndrome because I'm like, well, I don't know everything. Like I'm still learning. I mean, I guess I know a lot more than you do,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess like this is how I've been doing it. So try it that way, see if it works.
Yep. I think,
It's just
people out there, I don't know if people are reading like books and such in like success and whatever, but the people that do are always going to do better than the people that don't do, even if the people that don't do have more skills than the people that do. If you don't do, nothing's going to happen. And I mean, all of these books are always about that, which is very true. I had a friend that wanted to start her company for the longest time, and she always like, oh my god, I don't know, if I'm ready, I don't know what to do with this, I haven't planned it enough, and I haven't done. I was like, now you've been wondering for a year how you're gonna do it. Just start. Just do it, and we'll see what happens.
yeah. No, I mean, that's the best way you can do it.
Yep.
And I do want to say this like about reading books and learning. That's great. Gaining knowledge is great.
The
Um, you know
information you seek is not found in books. That's our spiritual mentor's words.
that too, and but like gaining knowledge, sure, great, but it's the application of that knowledge that is wisdom. Like you can be book smart, you could be a nerd, you can quote every philosopher ever, great, but do you know what it means? Like, do you actually know what it means? Can you feel it? Is it coming from you,
Hmm.
or are you just quoting the book about it?
Yep. A lot of people have information which is applies to like everything we do with the food technology. I actually did a video the other day of all these fake people that are representing brands or they're getting sponsored or whatever the hell it is, and they're not even doing that, not even using the product. Or it's ridiculous to me. Like you can't go and do something that you don't live and breathe. And a lot of people
Exactly.
are doing that. They're just out there selling bullshit and then they're not even doing it themselves. I mean, look at all the people uh, encouraging people to get vaccinated. Were they vaccinated? No, probably not. I
Probably
mean,
not.
some of them maybe, but most of them no. It was almost like there's a video on YouTube about Fauci where they asked him, it's like, are you vaccinated? No, because they said that the people that work with it are not allowed to do it. I mean, like, doesn't that alone say that you shouldn't be fucking doing it? He
Yeah,
even admitted that they didn't take it.
the founder of McDonald's won't eat McDonald's.
Exactly.
Mark Zuckerberg, makes sure that his camera is covered and that his mic is covered.
Yep.
Bill Gates doesn't use Windows. There's a reason why they don't use their own products. It's
Yep.
kind of
It's
like it's
bullshit.
kind of like a drug dealer. Like you don't get high on your own supply.
Yeah. But that's how it should be. You shouldn't get high on your own supply. And I'm not talking about drugs. I mean anything you do.
No, just all the natural stuff, of course.
Yep.
No, but I mean, there's like it has become a lot easier to spot though when you know that people are just reading from a script, that they're just very
Well, we're about to
very
call
good salesmen.
all the fuckers out on the internet that are trying to represent things and not doing them themselves. It will come down.
Oh, but this
Anyone
product is
who is
so
not,
great, it's
they
done
can
this and
pass
that.
around.
Yeah, cool. Here's my 30-day transformation with a very sus looking thumbnail, which is definitely not Photoshop or faked.
Or I mean, there's so many I'm not saying that everybody's a liar. A lot of people are actually upfront and honest, which is incredible. But I mean, we've even seen those people in me being in the bodybuilding industry, those people that would say, "Oh my God, do my program. You're gonna look like this." Well, you've been like shoving steroids like there's no tomorrow. Like that is not. Hey,
Yeah.
you do you, but then you would say, "Hey, I take all of this shit." So you can do that, or you don't do that, but then you might not get this result, which is fine as long as you're honest. But
Yeah. Like,
it's the same with the the medical industry. I fucking
mm,
hate them. I fight them. But here's the thing. If they would have been out there and said, "Hey, okay, you're sick, and I have this medication here, and you're probably gonna get a lot of issues. If not tomorrow, then maybe down the line, you're probably gonna get a lot of diseases and shit. Do you want it?" Nobody says, or now they're so trendy with these fucking hormone injections, but they're not telling people about the side effects. And now they're talking about it as if, oh my, this is good. No, you're just as shitty as Big Pharma. Like, what's the difference? You're
yeah.
shooting the shit, and you don't tell people that their bodies are going to stop producing hormone now. And if they ever stop, they're going to be an absolute disaster. They don't tell you that.
Yeah, which is why in Europe we ridicule like the American commercials, like the drug commercials, like
But
in
you
the
know,
commercial itself, like you'll see
commercials are
people just
different.
happy and bouncing and living their best life, and
The
in the
commercials have
meantime,
nothing
it's
to do with actually showing the product. You know the actual backstory about it?
yeah, 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 no,
No.
absolutely,
They're investing commercial money. So now the medical company doesn't care if you see the commercial. It has nothing to do with that because you can't go and buy that medication without a doctor's prescription anyway. They put a shit ton of money into the media companies because if they are the main uh what do you call it? If they are the main spender, they have the most say. So the medical companies are spending media money only so that they have all the say. That's the only reason. They don't give a shit about the actual commercial. They fucking own the media companies because they are the biggest sponsors of them.
I mean, they all own each other. It's one big club, and you're not in it.
Yep.
But
Which
I
is
think it's
why
just so.
our food technology have 30 years of science and zero side effects and zero toxicity. And that is why I've dedicated my life to this because nobody else have 30 years of studies and research and proof of zero side effects. I don't even
Yeah.
think anything I've ever done in my life has that. Like I've never really been much about supplements. I'll be honest. Like not even as a bodybuilder, I didn't use protein powder. I didn't really use pre-workout and stuff. But once in a blue moon, I would have an energy drink or something. Way maybe once in a while I drink a pre-workout. All of these shit have side effects. All of them, and not even knowing back then, which is why I'm so picky. I shoot content and commercials, and some companies may have reached out to me and asked for me to help them with their marketing, and I've said no, with the reason being that they have sucralose and shit in their product, which eats up your gut microbiome. And what we do with our food technology is rebuild people's gut microbiome. So I tell them, hey, I understand that you don't know how bad this is, but my purpose in life is to reverse what you're causing. So I'm sorry, but unless you change and these are my actual words, unless you change your ingredients in your product, I cannot help you.
I mean, and good on you for sticking to it, like
I've
especially
turned down a
as
lot of money, let's just say. So nothing I do is for money. If somebody believes that, yeah. I had a phone call once with a company that I recorded. Hopefully, I never need to use, but they wanted to basically take me to court and stuff because he had a contract that I was supposed to shoot commercials, blah 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 blah, blah whatever.
Mm.
Either way, so I cut the contract when I found out about this, and he also changed the ingredients in his product without telling me because I had actually done my research on it prior. And then he got really mad and he said, you only care about money. I'm like, man, do you know how much you pay me per month to do this job for you? Yeah, I just turned it down. So why do you think it had anything to do with money? I could have just kept doing the job for you and just taken the money, but I didn't.
Yeah, and that's why you still have your self-worth, why you still have your self-respect.
Yes. I don't think anything. It's, selling your soul is never worth ever.
No.
Which is why I have another friend of mine. And sometimes, if somebody is my friend, Everyone who knows me knows where I stand. And my friend
Mm.
called me and said that this person got a new job, which was basically doing marketing for an Ozempic company. And I said,
Oh,
"Excuse me? Yeah, it's this, I don't like it that much, but I need the money." "Oh, so you're now helping them kill people?" I mean, I'm sorry, but indirectly, you're a fucking killer now. That's my take on it. If you help somebody and you know that they're fucking people up, maybe even to the point of death, and you still do it, you are the fucking problem.
I mean,
But people don't
yeah.
think that way. I'm like, how do you not think that way? You know what they're doing.
I mean, maybe you're not directly complicit, but
But fuck
you're
yeah.
not helping it. You're not helping preventing it. You're not helping fighting it. Like,
But
yeah,
there's
if
nothing
you
you
if you
don't
know what
know.
it's
But if
doing,
you know, you are just as big of an asshole that the people that created it. If you have not gained the knowledge yet, okay, that's one thing. But if once you do gain this knowledge and you know what the fuck is going on, you can't support that anymore.
well, you shouldn't. I
You
mean,
don't like it, then you're on my
money
team.
isn't everything, Like, yeah, unfortunately, we do still need it to well, survive, not even
You-
live at this point, but survive in this fucked up system.
Did you see?
Um,
Me and Joss made the live we did the other day. We were covering the what they're planning to do with the currencies and stuff. So like Sweden, where I come
yeah,
from, the money basically has very little value. And I don't believe money is actually going to be around and exist. Whatever we're talking about now is working because the view count is growing. And I know you can only see one platform in here, but I can see the other ones too, and they're growing right now. So let's keep going with this.
good. Yes.
I was like, no, like that. I don't believe money is going to exist. I also don't believe we need money. I mean, we do, but we don't. I believe you can manifest anything, and I think that people's minds are too small. You're too small-minded. You think you need money, but what if I told you, like for example, I about a year ago, I manifested that I would have zero debt on my house. Suddenly, I learned about debt discharge. So it has nothing to do with money. It means that I don't have to pay my bills anymore. So why do you need
Mhm.
money? Like things can come in interesting ways to you. Or another example, while I was manifesting my house before I had it, I manifested this house and my real estate agent. So I found the house, everything, and right in around the same time, I had a situation with a friend and my sister who had medical complications, and I ended up paying for things with my down payment for the house.
Mhm.
So when I find the house, I was like, well, now I don't have the down payment anymore. So either way, I found the house, signed the papers, and my real estate agent, she called me. She's like, "Maaxx, I don't really know what happened. I've never heard this in my entire career as a real estate agent, but the owner said they're paying all of your fees." And she's like, "It's so weird." I was like, see, I said, why does a manifestation or why does things have to come in money when you can just manifest the result? And one of my mentors told me once, okay, Maaxx, so you have this purpose and goal. You want to save all the kids in the world, right? She said, do you think that there's any obstacle or limitations for you to do this? And I said, no. Okay, good. She said, what do you need to save them all? And I've told this story a million times and I can't remember my exact answer, but I said something, blah, 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 something about money, right? And she said, but
Mhm.
Maaxx, why do you stop halfway? She said, if the kids are here, you're gonna save them, and you manifest the money to save them. Why are you doing that? Why don't you just manifest that they're saved? Why are you stopping halfway? Because if the universe wants you to do that, it will help you do that. Maybe you need money, maybe you don't. Maybe it will happen in a different way. You don't know that. And I think people need to remove this thought about, oh, I have to have money. No, you don't. You only have to have
No,
money if you believe that that's what you have to have.
money is the unnecessary middleman, really.
Yes. I think we should just manifest abundance or maybe wealth because it doesn't specify money per se. It specifies the end result of maybe having money, but maybe it's not money that will come to you. Maybe it's something different.
I mean, that's why I keep working towards self-sufficiency
Hmm.
so that I can be fully independent, so that I will be
Mm-hmm.
fully independent. And that's also why, I love the idea of the Feu rune
Mm-hmm.
so much. Yeah, it represents wealth,
Mm-hmm.
but it represents also cattle.
Mm-hmm.
Has
Yes,
nothing to do
exactly.
with money. Like, I'm not even sure if they like really knew currency back then. Even if they did, it was probably just something that, the people in the bigger cities were using. Like, if you're out in the country, just, all farmland, all different kinds of farmers, what uses money?
Yeah. But it's
Like,
like if
you.
you, a cow is a cow, right? Let's say a cow feeds you for a year. We're just making something up. This cow is always going to feed you for the year, but $1,000 might be worth, let's say a cow is $1,000. I know it's not, but let's just say that. Let's say a cow is $1,000, but the cow lasts you a year. But suddenly the value of the currency goes down. So now you can only get a quarter of a cow for $1,000. The money, like the value of those money can just go away overnight if that's what
Yeah,
they want, while the
it's
cow is
happened
still going to
before.
be the cow, you know? So,
Yeah.
which is also why I think people need to rethink, like, you save up all this money, but your money might only be worth half tomorrow.
If that.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, that's
example,
that's
or
when you
nothing at
get,
all. And
that
like the
when
fruit
you
and
become
vegetables,
Zimbabwe.
Joe started throwing, like, in the stores now, they are very popular with all the seedless fruit. And I was thinking, what the fuck do you think a seedless fruit is? Like, you're supposed to eat your fruit, take the seed, plant them in the ground, and now you have new fruit.
Yeah,
That's how it's supposed to work. But no, you
that's
buy
the
seedless
cycle.
fruit. So like if you planted that shit, you wouldn't have to buy more fruit.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's the age old saying. If you buy a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, he'll eat
Yep.
for life.
Yes.
And that's that's
True.
also why I very much advocate for, well, first of all, trade and barter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cut out the middleman. You have something that I want. I have something that you want. Let's just do that. That's a lot easier. Like, I mean, literally how they did it in the old days. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have a cow that I can spare, but I want some goats. So, if you give me two goats, I'll give you my cow. Well, there you go. It's a deal. No money necessary. Just
Yep.
equal trade.
Yep. So we need to get
And
to, but we probably need to move away from, people need to get away from this whole thing where they think it's cool to be on a yacht or some bullshit. You can still adventure. Like I had a conversation. Here's the thing. I've lived the fancy life. I've driven fancy sports cars. I lived in a super fancy place in a very expensive place. I've lived literally in the middle of Manhattan Times Square on like this 42nd floor with a view over the Hudson River. That was one place. And then I lived in downtown Miami in a fancy apartment with fucking windows seeing the whole thing. Blah 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 blah. I had two sports cars, all the things, right? And I used to
Mhm.
travel a lot. I would fly first class, all the fancy shit. I would eat expensive food. I would never, I'm still, honestly, I still have that mindset. I don't look at price tags. I never do because that's just how, whatever. I've done all
Mhm.
of that. I was miserable. I was fucking miserable. And one day I'm sitting there, I was looking at this car and I was like, what the fuck do I need this car for? Why am I living here? I mean, it's costing me a fortune, and like, what value am I even getting out of this crap? I'm like, my dream is literally to live like on the beach in the jungle or something, but I don't even need a wall on my house. Like that's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
I
I've
mean, that's.
been there, done that. I've been on fancy trips. I've been on yachts. I've lived on fancy hotels. I've traveled. And somebody said to me, Max, but like, you've like done everything. Like, what could somebody? We were talking about relationship shit, and let's say that I would date a guy, and a man wants to be able to show a woman new things, right? If you find a woman,
Mhm.
you want to give her experiences. And my this person said, well, Max, you've seen it all though. I said, no, I haven't. Do you know what I do want to see? Real shit, fucking the nature and the jungle, because my whole life I was anti hiking and camping. I was anti getting dirty, all that stuff. I've done the fancy stuff, where I was in that's not what I want anymore. Take me fucking hiking in the dirt. So yes, you can bring me to things. Take me to like real nature, not modern stuff. That's what I would
Yeah.
expect because I don't need none of that shit.
And experiences are a lot, um they're worth a lot more than stuff.
Yeah.
That's I've began doing that um years ago with birthdays, especially
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
especially for my parents,
Mm-hmm.
because I, now that I'm a father myself, father of two, I have gained so much more respect from my parents because it is a hard fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
Love my kids, don't get me wrong, but damn. Um, and I know that, especially my father and I, we clashed, like especially when I was younger, uh, teens, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
We clashed a lot, but I have gained a lot more respect for him since. Understood him. I've you know developed a greater understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's his birthday, I would much rather like give him something that is a experience, like go
Yeah.
somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
do something, than get him, I don't know, like another cologne or another book or another, set of cufflinks or whatever. Cause like first of all, I know that um my father much prefers to just do something. And I mean, I do too, because like we're making memories, really. Like those are the things that I will remember, that he is going to remember, that my mother, my sister is going to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like why should I remember you know, what kind of cologne I gave him for his birthday 5 years ago? I don't know, but I remember, like the festival we went to. I remember the activity
Mm-hmm.
that we did together. Just a whole day of doing things when we had, a lot of fun. I remember that, and that's so much. You know, that's so much more. That means so much more. It's so much more worthy than stuff will ever be, because
I had
memories live on.
I had a clashing
Stuff.
relationship for this specific reason because have you read the Five Love Languages, the book?
No.
So it's like each person has a different way of giving and receiving love, right? So there is acts of service, there is physical touch,
Oh
there is
my god.
quality
Okay.
time, gifts, words of affirmations, and so on. So let's say that you're a
Yeah.
words of affirmation person, but I am not, and then I never tell you that I'm proud of you, but I'm giving you hugs all the time. Like you might not see that as love because I'm not giving you the one that you need. Either way, so I had a relationship where mine is acts of service and quality time. It's kind of like a equal. And I don't mean like going above and beyond for me. It's like little things. Let's say that I had a friend of mine, every time he came over to hang out, he would always take my trash out on the way when he was leaving. And it was like, I never forget that. It was the most wonderful little thing that probably didn't take him any extra because he was walking by the trash bin anyway, but it saved me time and like I value these little things, right? Same now, my friend, like he always brings like the packages over from the when they deliver, like little things like that. And quality
Mhm.
time, I like when some like if we have time together, don't sit and scroll on your phone, like look me in the eyes. So either way, the person I was with had gifts. I realized after I was like, fuck, shit's not working. Like, I need to figure out. And I was like, okay, I'm going to put an effort in here and try to like actually make this better. So for example, I was planning these adventures, right? I was planning these trips with activities and yada, yada, yada. To me, that was a gift, right? Let's
Mhm.
just say that this person didn't see it that way and got pretty fucking upset with me, let's just say that I didn't actually bring this little physical gift that was expensive in a box that you open. And I was like, God damn it, I just can't get the shit right? Either way, that it didn't work out very well. I don't think I could be with a person that has gifts as their love language, but yeah, like that is my style of, or just like, I don't even care if it costs money. Like, you can take me out on a fucking picnic outside. Like, it doesn't matter what
Mm.
the price tag. Again, like, I don't care about money. I don't care if what you did for me cost you $0 or $1,000. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, and it's yeah. No, that's I know about the love language. As I never knew there was a an actual book
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
pretty good. I mean, I think it's a good way to kind of. So, like, I asked one of my best friends, you can do this with relationships, with your kids, anything. Like, actually try to figure out, what are your kids' love language? Because let's say it's physical touch, they actually want you to come hug them all the time, but all you do is like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, and maybe words is not their thing. And then you think, oh my god, I told them all the time I love them, but they didn't feel loved because you never gave them the thing they needed. So I asked
Yeah.
my best friend once, I said, what's your love language? She's like, words of affirmation. I was like, oh shit, that's the one thing I'm actually not very good at. And that was the one thing, because words of affirmation is like all the way down on the list for me. I don't care if you tell me that you love me. I don't care if you tell me that I'm beautiful, which is also why all you people online that think that you can, oh, you're so beautiful, it doesn't work on me. I'm sorry. I also don't care if you say I'm ugly. I don't care, because the words don't mean anything to me. What means something to me is your action. You can shut your mouth and not say one single word, and you do one little action for me. That's how I feel love. Either way, so she was like, words of affirmation. I was like, wow, I need to better myself. So I was like, okay, I need to get better telling her how I feel about her, because that's not necessarily how I do it. I will like do things for her instead.
Yeah. And I mean that's another aspect, communication.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly important. I mean, when I do give gifts, I make sure that they actually mean something, and that they're,
Yeah,
very
of course.
very personal as well. Great example. I still don't know how I I pulled that one off. But my sister, my younger sister, she graduated as a script writer from the Amsterdam Film Academy, and I know that she loves writing, and she does write a lot,
Mm.
and I know she is like very much into vintage
Yeah.
stuff, vintage
Mm-hmm.
things. Like that's her thing. Seems to be a very girly thing. Um, so I scoured the internet and found a true vintage typewriter,
Uh huh.
like one of those like old school ones, and gave that for her birthday. And when she it was a big heavy thing as well. So when she opened it up, she was like, "Whoa! Like what is this? Like this is awesome!" And I was like, "Well, yeah, because I know you love writing and you love vintage, so vintage writing. There you go." So when you give gifts, try to make it personal, and have it be things that last.
And it doesn't have to cost. It can cost, but it doesn't have to cost.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a big thing either. I mean, I'm the type like go big or go home. Really, it's my my son's birthday in a month. My daughter's birthday was actually yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and but it's also how I've been raised. I'd rather give one bigger gift, one larger gift, than like several small ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how I've been raised. But for my son, I bought. He's crazy about Paw Patrol. I mean, he's 6, 7 years old. So I just bought this huge, like 3 foot crane for him. Thing is probably half. Well, no, it's probably as big or a little smaller than he is. I believe he's like 4 foot yeah, let's say 4 foot at the moment. He's a big boy. Um, and for my daughter, I mean, I spoil my daughter, but it's what dads do. Um, but yeah, like always, just bigger gifts, because like you can buy a whole bunch of just like smaller meaningless things, cool, but I mean they'll probably end up in the trash in what, a day, 2 days perhaps, or they break in 2 days. My sister actually had the greatest gift for me with my last birthday,
Just
because I'm very
he said, "You can always gift me Transformers. Those be very funny."
yeah. I've seen pictures of his playroom.
Yeah.
The one that he actually shows, not the one in the basement. Um,
Oh, and he has a secret one.
oh yeah, I mean he's a vampire, of course he does.
Oh, I know.
No, but I am better at gift giving than gift receiving. Like every year when I get asked for, like, what do you want for my birthday? I'm like,
I'm horrible. I always tell my mom socks, and she's like, "I can't give you socks. That's so boring." I'm like, "Well, I need some socks." I said.
I mean it's a good gift.
uh,
Like
I don't know. I'm like,
I'm
"Yeah, you don't have to give me anything."
I'm 33 years old. Socks is actually, it's a pretty good gift.
Yep.
But my sister, she knows I like beer. I like the special kind of beers. So she actually bought me a whole range of different, like, specialty beers from, like, the more independent
Mm-hmm.
breweries.
Uh huh.
And I actually love that as a gift. Like, I had no idea what I wanted. She came with that, and I was like, "Hey, okay, this is kind of fun." Like, the bottles are, they're special. The cans are looking really fancy. The beer is, it's pretty good itself too. So it's like, as you said, it's the small things that really matter. And she is very creative, so of course she would come up with it.
Yes. Well, I like doing art on my wall behind here now. Everything is made by either me or people I know. So I've been buying a lot
Oh,
of art
cool.
from this one girl. She's awesome, Ari. And then I made some of my own things up here. I'm still filling up. It's gonna be full the entire wall.
Yeah, I need a better backdrop as well. In due time.
It's fun. Well, maybe we start wrapping up. We're on 2 hours 40 minutes now. I could probably keep going forever, but I do need to exercise and eat.
Yeah, and I still need to eat. I still need to have dinner. Like, I came home from work and
Yeah.
came
That's
on here, like,
us.
pretty much right after.
Perfect. Well, we will. Well, I will see you tomorrow for your. Wait, tomorrow, right? Yes. No, for your podcast.
Was that tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know what we said. What did we say?
I mean,
What's today? What's today?
today's
Oh,
Wednesday.
maybe we didn't. I'm lost on the days. What do I have tomorrow? I have something tomorrow. Well,
Thinking,
whenever
like,
you want. Or
I mean,
until
I
I
am.
travel next week again.
Yeah, I think next week will be.
No, I'm gone next week. I'm away, but
Hmm,
I will be back. Yeah, I have a lot of trips. I have 3 more trips. So I'm gone next week. And the week after, I'm here for a couple of days. Then we go to Mexico to meet the kids that we nourish. And then after
nice.
that, I'm maybe here for a few days. And then we have Joel's fight. So I can keep you posted on the tweener days and we'll see if we can get it in.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I have a rather busy schedule as well. 2 projects, 2 kids, 2 cats, full-time job.
I know.
Uh,
I had so many people that were, oh, we're doing a live stream this week. I'm like, no, I've been on the road for weeks. And I was like, I have so much stuff to do and leaving again. And then because then also, if I do too many live streams, I don't have time to edit reels. And then people are like, why didn't you edit a reel out of the one I was in? Well, because I don't have time. Like, I still have reels I haven't edited from way back. But everyone
Yeah,
can watch the replays on Rumble. Everything is on Rumble. I don't always make a reel out of everything.
it's a lot of work doing live
Yes,
streams
I don't want
and
to. I don't want to
podcasts.
outsource it. I've had an assistant in the past, and I don't know. I don't know how to transfer my brain into other people. I have certain visions, which is why some of us here were just. I need to do it myself because I don't think people understand the vision a lot of times. And I gave some people a chance, a very long chance, like 6 months. I was like, no, this is just taking. Now I have to spend even more time correcting things, you know? No.
I mean, doesn't Elon Musk have a device that allows you to implant your brain into something else?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that.
No, I mean,
I
just a
mean, it's
suggestion. But
convenient.
no.
I see the I see how people can think it's convenient, but I'm a very I use AI very rarely. I might use ChatGPT on the live sometimes to kind
Mm.
of like prove a point of the corruption in the world, but I don't try to I try to not use I don't use AI in any of my work. If anyone have seen my art, my photography, my video, everything, there's no AI in my shit, okay? When I do graphic design, someone is like, "What AI app do you use for your real covers?" No, I make them. Like I make them myself. Oh, what app is that? Excuse me, I have 24 years of experience. You're not gonna do my fucking work with a clicking in an app. AI is not a person, and it doesn't do anything with love.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
I mean, I use it to clean up the recordings a bit.
Oh, I've never done that
The
actually. Well, I just
program that I
oh, I don't need it. It is what it is. You know.
Yeah, I mean the program that I use, Riverside. I mostly do pre-record it, so it cleans up a lot of the like the dead air, the uhs and ums. I can put subtitling in it, so it's just to clean it up a bit, make it look
Yeah.
all
I mean, it makes
nice.
sense. I used to do actual podcasting before. And the reason I went over to live streaming is because it's so much work. And if I live stream, I live stream. It is what it is. It auto posts after we're done, so I don't have to do anything. And the only thing I do is obviously make like a little reel teaser or something. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean
a lot.
that's why I schedule. Like I do a lot of pre-record, but I have it scheduled
Mm-hmm.
to release weekly, so that
Yeah.
even if I don't have any new shows on the planning, then at least stuff still comes out.
Hmm. Yep. That's good. Okay, let's wrap up. I will talk to you
Yes.
soon, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
And
thank you for having
go
me.
eat your dinner.
Yeah, first I gotta figure out what I want, then I'll have dinner.
Yes. I don't know what I'm eating yet. We'll see. Yep, but I will talk to you soon.
I
Thank
talk
you.
to you soon. You,
Bye.
thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, I'm gonna jump off because I need to go train. I've been sitting here since I woke up, but I want to show you guys. Let's see if I find it. So I am wearing the the Joel shirt here. He finally have a fight. So if somebody wants to go check that out, here it is. May 22nd, San Diego, California. I think you go to what's the website again? Hold on. Toughnuff.com. That's where you can get tickets and information. It's pretty excited. It hasn't been a fight in a long time. So you can also go grab a shirt at officialpureblood.com. Has some cool merch. One of them does have Joel on it. If you're coming to the fight, maybe you can get one of those shirts to wear and support him. And I will be back. I feel like I have another live stream this week. No, I have another live. Yes, on Sunday. Sunday, I go live with Alobar Jones, which is going to be awesome. We're going to do a channeling. So do check that out. It's going to be early in the morning for me because he's in Australia. So I think I'm doing like 8 a.m. in the morning Sunday for me, which is the day after in the afternoon for him. I will make a post about that with the exact time and everything. And I will see you guys then. I love you all. go get some food technology. You can go to nobloatclub.com, tap on Acemannans, get some for yourself, improve your own health, and save a child's life. That's our goal. When 3 million people are on this product, taking 2 servings a day, we will effectively eradicate childhood malnutrition from the planet. 7 million children die every year of malnutrition. And you guys have probably seen all the results on my site. All the videos are about the food technology. People reversing, like, we don't treat, heal or cure anything. All we do is optimize your body so it can do it by itself. Anything, autoimmune diseases, allergies, dementia, cancer, skin conditions, hair, blah, you name it. You can find it on my page. You can watch the testimonials. Also, you can give it to your little babies. We got a story the other day with a 4-month-old baby who had eczema, started taking it, and it started working already the first day. And she's doing so much better. The mom sent me a picture yesterday. It's been 2 weeks now. And the baby, it's a whole transformation. So go check it out. Support the mission. If you are interested in actually working with the mission, because you can do that, we have 2 ways to do this. You can either simply just set yourself up as an affiliate or a partner. You get a referral link. You can go refer and you get commission, which is great. We also have a sponsored program for athletes, coaches, or some sort of influencers, and not the fake influencers. If you're a fake influencer, no thanks, unless you want to actually do something good. There are different ways you can do an application. If you're interested, you can hit me up. I can show you guys how to do it. You can send me a message, and you should definitely also be getting product for yourself. Let's say that, well, here's the thing. Priorities, guys. Nobody doesn't have money for their health, but sometimes people believe they don't have money for their health because apparently they don't care about their health, which is very weird. But let's say that you are one of those people like, I don't want to spend money on my health because I'd rather die early and sick. I don't know. You know, there are those people. You can start as an affiliate, and obviously you get free product by referring. You also get commission. That's another way, even though I don't think that's a very good way to do it. I think everybody should invest in their health. I have cut my monthly expenses from, and I was expensive. I had a lot of issues, let's just say. I cost thousands of dollars a month with my scoliosis and my arthritis and all this shit. I had a lot of people helping me with rehab and deep tissue and all the good things, right? I don't do that anymore because I don't need it. So I also took out my hair extensions. I don't do fake nails. All my hair grew out. I don't need none of that stuff. So I am saving thousands of dollars a month in taking this product because the product is not costing me that much. I get some free product, but I also use more product. So this is a little trick if somebody wants to know, but I just bought product for about 6 months supply for myself and some others. And I spent with discounts and everything. I spent about 2,000 something, and then I product for 6 months. That's a lot of product, let's just say. And I have extra. I'm here in the gym fighting, and if we ever get hurt, then we take extra servings to speed up the healing process. And then I also love to have backups that I can send to friends, like somebody's in a car accident or somebody's having an emergency disease, because these things have popped up in the recently. So then I can overnight ship to my friends. So that's a way to do it. But if you're interested in either the affiliate or partner program or the sponsored program, you can hit me up and I can share more information about it. If you are an influencer of some sort, you definitely should be influencing and do something that actually helps people and not something like an energy drink that actually eats up people's gut microbiome. And most of your immune system is in your gut. So when your gut doesn't work, you're going to get sick. And it can come out anywhere. Your gut is connected to everything. So if you destroy your stomach, you are going to get health issues. Stop promoting that bullshit. Especially, I'm saying a lot of you probably don't even know that that's what it's doing. And that's fine. I'm here to tell you now. You can research it. Do some research on sucralose and potassium acid sulfate and all these fake shit. They're destroying gut microbiomes. But now when you know that, stop promoting it. How about that? Stop making people sick, because you're actually indirectly making them sick. But I love you all, and I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you on Sunday, if anything, maybe sooner. And have a wonderful day.